It'd be so wonderful. La da da da. I know, you know. Da, 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 da. It'd be so wonderful. Oh, yeah. Alright. Okay. Let's let people come in a little bit, you know? But yeah. Okay. We got quite the things to talk about today. Okay? We got quite the topics. So, yes. Skittybitty stuff has continued. What's up, the Glitch Rabbit? What's up, Zombie? How is everybody? Yeah, I'm using my B still today. Now, so, there's a few things I want to talk about. So, after the last Skittybitty stream I did, which, click a little recap. Alright, hold on. Thank you for the 2 Francis. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I know. True. Excuse me, sir. Sure. True. What's up, Lakari? What's up, Archer? What's up, Lizard Man? So, we're going to be doing a couple of swings today. So, I will say, the last Skittybitty stream we did started off, I went through the media reviews, and then the drama portion of it that kind of happened after. But yeah, it was Legend of Zelda drama that was talking about racism and Orientalism, whether or not the Gerudos were racist, and it stemmed into a character assassination of these media reviewers. And this has apparently been a thing going on for almost a year, kind of just boiling and brewing. What's up, Name? But yeah. What's up, Lesser Known? So that is kind of like where it goes. My critiques of Skitty has mainly just been, they don't address the pedo jacketing that they've done to Octorok. So, obviously, I see that as an issue. I see them trying to get their audience to try to deplatform another channel just because they have a disagreement. Found that to be an issue. And admittedly, yeah, I had a huge issue when it came to them encouraging a 13-year-old to buy a Visa card to get into their Discord server. 100% have an issue with that. However, I believe Skitty would disagree, whatever. But yeah. Why the fuck did I get Bluey ad? Don't worry about it. But, yeah, no. So, I've been seeing some things kind of transpire. There's a thing that Harmful Opinions uploaded that I want to go over first, considering that happened the day after my stream or something. And I want to be caught up with pretty much every angle. An angle that we're going to be focusing on today is also Edgier Than Now, a creator I've never seen before, right? That kind of came out of the woodworks to, in my opinion, sweep for Skittybitty to try to frame Harmful Opinions as a manufacturing liar, right? So that's going to be interesting. But I'm kind of like, this is just, just a little recap, and that's the plan for today. I'm also going to do a little bit of relitigating. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun today. Okay? Let's do this. So let's watch the video first, and then we'll get into some screenshots. This is Harmful Opinions video called My Apology to Skittybitty. They did something like this with, They did something like this with Anthony. Where it was during, the Remnant stuff. So, evil stuff. Oh, is it not Ant? Ant will come up.
I'm sorry that whatever happened to you in the past has warped your perspective on what's acceptable or not. Perhaps that can be seen to not be your fault. However, it is still a problem nonetheless. And I'll talk about this again shortly, but first I need to talk about your brief coverage of me and my output in your recent video. Strangely, even the tiniest details that you have no reason to deceive anyone about are false. Of me taking a peep at your Patreon Discord server, you say that I had no idea what I was looking for, and that I was simply coming through.
He didn't know what exactly he was looking for when he decided to comb through my Discord. He just had some gut feeling that...
And obviously that was wrong, because I know they're going to show a clip, but just even watching it, he saw a slap fight go on, and was going to click on report. Now, granted, I also know that Harmful Opinions didn't really, so he, to my understanding, he didn't, seriously vet. He didn't go, insane into the weeds. He saw a slap fight and wanted to see if there's anything relating to it, because of how Skitty was acting publicly. And the guy kind of got like banned shortly after. So, yeah, lol.
Something was off.
No, I knew exactly what I was looking for, as is clear from my video. So I take a quick peep at Skitty's Patreon Discord, and I do one search. I type report into the bar, and Skittybitty suggests that my criticism of their use of a minor tag in their Discord is ridiculous pearl clutching.
He still decided to pearl clutch over there being an optional role that people under the age of 18 can use to identify themselves.
Yet claimed that to the end of child safety, they have abolished that role.
Nobody is able to ensure kids are safe online the same way they're not able to ensure they're safe at home or at school. That doesn't mean we shouldn't strive to limit risk factors in situations like this, and to that end, I have removed the minor role from my server.
So that is weird, right? They called it pearl clutching and then did it anyways. Also, Skittybitty really throws me off, right? They make points that would actually support the argument of why you should not have children in your space anyways, but then use that as a way of, like, as a defense of why they have kids in their space. So it's very fucking odd. Because it's like, when you say something like, we can't ever guarantee the safety of children, right? And then your next thing that leaves your mouth is like, yeah, that's why they're still in there. It's like, then it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Logically, yeah, sure. You could say that there's only so much that you could do, right? There's only so much that you could do about this. So why would you keep them in your server then? If you recognize that, right, that you can't ensure their safety or whatever, why take the risk? You understand that it would fall onto you if something happened in your server. I don't understand why you wouldn't just make your server 18 plus. That part doesn't make sense to me at all. Right? It just doesn't make sense at all. But yeah. Anyways.
Ridiculous pearl clutching that Skitty agrees with?
Right.
In some attempt to counter it, Skitty refers to me calling what they're doing, commanding an army of child soldiers, as being very funny.
But the line this guy and then eventually Octo ran with was that I was commanding an army of child soldiers to harass people I disagree with. Which is, of course, very funny in how absurdly dramatic and self-serious it is.
It is. I'm glad you agree with me. Now onto the title of this video, which you might be saying, why have you done that? That's horrible. That's too extreme, blah, blah, blah. It's really funny.
Which is, of course, very funny in how...
Yeah, like, what makes Skitty good enough to protect the kids in their server? Nothing. They're just a random Legend of Zelda streamer or content creator. There is nothing that they could do to ensure it, right? There's people that probably put more effort and energy into it, like certain groups, and there's resources that are literally made for that. I don't know why Skitty is kind of like taken that position to be like, I'll save the children. I don't know. It's a bit... okay. It's a bit odd. But sure. Hi, Ace. What's up, Astro John? Skitty said before they had adults around that when they were young on the internet, I'm guessing they felt the need to return to the same thing by having space for minors. Maybe? It just kind of comes off as a savior complex type of deal. I don't know. Maybe they have the mentality of that they were wronged when they were a teenager, so they want to make sure that they could do their best to give other kids a safe environment, but honestly, that usually just kind of... that doesn't really go in any good directions. Not at all. But, sure.
Absurdly dramatic and self-serious it is, but the accusation it represents is that I'm in some way endangering minors by simply having them in my server.
That is literally the opposite of truth. I specifically state that that is not the problem. It does welcome minors. Generally, I'd say do not do that, but if you do and everything's clean, okay. Jumping in post real quick, totally ruining the vibe of the video to add something I think is important. I said the problem was two things. The minor role, which apparently Skitty agrees with, and content Skitty was directing users to by pinging everyone. Skitty is adamant that there was nothing inappropriate for kids in there ever, but there's a problem. Skitty didn't just say report, Skitty instructed everyone to go and look at everything on Octo's account.
Yeah, read through his post/replies lol. Yep. That Yeah, it's bro.
What's on Octo's Twitter? What's it all covered in, according to Skittybitty?
I've also received a fair amount of heat for referring to the people Octo pals around with as Nazi pedophiles, but I can't even count the number of times I've looked at the profile of someone he's talking to and seen wall-to-wall lolicon shit.
Linking to and instructing people to look at someone's interactions when they interact with wall-to-wall lolicon shit accounts doesn't sound very fucking safe for work or appropriate for kids to me.
It's not. And if Skitty tries to claim that it is, then they're gonna, like, dig themselves a deeper grave. It's just not. It's not safe at all. Why the fuck in any universe would you think it's okay to, like, have servers that have a server with minors in it and be like, hey, everyone, look at this guy hanging around Nazi lolicons. What the fuck? Dude, come on. Netherless, what the fuck is that? Hi, Ace. I'm watching you in bed. Hope you feel good knowing that. No. But fuck me, man. This is so stupid.
Skittybitty decides to appeal to YouTube comments for some reason.
A quick glance at the comments under this video make it clear that this is not about keeping anyone safe.
You are supposedly an adult in their mid-20s. Stop with this playground click. Look who he's with, look who she's with shit. Skittybitty then says something incredibly bizarre about my last video.
Especially since the man who made this video went on to refer to 2 community members who he identified as children by their actual names in a follow-up video, even showing their usernames on screen. If he's so concerned about minors that he's convinced are vulnerable to abuse, that decision materially endangers them more than anything I've done.
See, that's so... Oh my god, this blows my mind, right? Skitty literally just made the claim that, like, Harmful Opinions, what he did more harm to these kids than anything that they did. Who made their names public, Skitty? Who made their life public? Who made their vulnerability to your audience public? That was you. You literally made it very public that this kid is vulnerable, that this kid has abusive parents, and that they are a kid in the first place, and you name them by name. Their username, mind you, but their name. That was all you, Skitty. That was you. It blows my mind that instead of just taking basic accountability for your own action, you are trying to push it on to Harmful Opinions, who simply is just stating what you did. And somehow that's doing more harm? That's doing more harm? Really? I'm just... I'm baffled. I'm genuinely baffled. Like, at that point, if you don't understand that, you're either the dumbest motherfucker to ever grace the earth, or you're being intentionally dishonest and just lying to your audience. Which, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty bad sign, right? A pretty good sign to show that you're engaging with someone in bad faith is that you don't show any clips of what they've actually said or any evidence of what they said. So Skitty 100% is engaging with Harmful Opinions in bad faith by not showing any clips of what they've said, not addressing any of the actual points, and just trying to, some of it's just making strawmans and arguing with the strawmans. So yeah, you're just intentionally lying to your audience. It blows my mind. It really does. But yeah, let's keep going.
More dangerous than anything you've done. That was me showing you doing that. You've actually done that around 100 times. And
you can verify this with Philmont or any other YouTube transcript search. 100 times? Dude. You did this, if I'm to take that accurately, you did this about 100 times, Skitty? Really? I knew that it was at least 2. But Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's also a good point. Harmful Opinions video would not even exist if Skitty never did it. Yeah. If Skitty never did what they did, it wouldn't be talked about. That's just the basic logic of it. Cause and effect. Dude. Holy fuck.
Wait, hang on. This is a point about the identifiability of minors. I thought that was pearl clutching. I thought that was ridiculous. Now let's talk about what Skittybitty says about the contents of that video. The one they've apparently seen because they're talking about it. Skittybitty defends themselves by saying, wait a second. Skittybitty doesn't address anything in that video. I recommend watching it yourself, but I'll summarize quickly here. I found that Skittybitty was directly instructing individual minors on how to make a purchase, how to buy access to their private Discord server via Patreon without their parents knowing, calling it the Skittybitty strat, and recommending using it for whatever else as well. Many people have defended it by saying, well, a kid could figure it out on their own, so whatever. Kids can look at porn on their own as well.
See, this was like, yeah, this argument, I remember this, not to like loop it back to a drama from 2 years ago. But this is why I got like so pissed off at Kumo, right? When it came to the Cinnabear stuff. Because the argument that he used to defend them is, well, Eno was already into that type of porn. Eno was already consuming that type of content. Well, obviously, the fucking issue is the normalization of talking about that stuff with an adult. The adult talking to you about it. The direct engagement with that. That is a huge issue, right? That is a huge issue. The reason why I think about that is because that's always been a dumb defense, no matter the context. Well, a kid could figure that out on their own. Well, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a streamer instructing a kid of how to do it. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. Like I said before, if I'm being good faith and taking Benjamin at their word that they have abusive parents, right? And Skittybitty is encouraging them to lie to their parents, what the fuck do you think the parents are going to do to the kid when they inevitably find out that the kid is lying to their parents? You really don't think that when the kid uses their parents' credit card, they're going to notice a list of, that's a lot of Visa cards being paid for, bud. What does a 13-year-old have to do with Visa cards? I wonder what they're doing. You really think that they would not catch on? What do you think would happen when they catch on? I mean, assuming no physically abusive stuff happens, that kid's going to be further isolated. That kid's going to be in a way worse state because of your involvement. But you don't care. You just needed that extra $3 so that someone could go into your server, Skitty. It's pathetic. It actually is infuriating. If you actually wanted to help that kid, you would have, actually gone about it the right way with resources, not telling a kid to lie to their parents. I'm astonished. Really. Genuinely am. But yeah. Let's just keep going.
But if an adult shows it to them, you break their legs. Similarly, kids, even kids as young as 13, as Skitty was instructing, can figure out how to get around their parents. But if a fucking YouTuber is instructing them on how to do that, how to keep secrets that will be shared with that YouTuber, that is beyond a red flag. This is a YouTuber who covers children's games trying to architect a scenario where they have dirt that would get a minor in trouble with their parents, and attempting to profit off of doing that. Even if a YouTuber doesn't do anything more than that, they have still engaged in predatory behavior. They're also an extreme liability for any platform they're on. Oh, but I know this person. They only have fucking good in their heart. No, you don't, you parasocial retard. Any YouTuber, any fucking freak online trying to pull that shit for any reason, one and done. Over. Get a fucking sense of perspective. This little fight with Octorok reviews is funny, it's fun. I repped on his video on stream.
Yeah, no. Mind you, not recommending this for necessities they don't get, but a Discord. Yeah, Patreon Discord. That's, insane. A space, if the parents are truly homophobic, the Skitty strat would be not just further isolated, but potentially killed or put through serious harm. I don't know how dangerous the parents are, but yeah, it's insane. It would be insane. But, yeah, fucking hell.
This stuff, though, is no joke. Do not care why someone is doing it. Do not care what YouTube comments are saying. Do not give a fuck what threads on drama and gossip websites are saying.
Of course your child audience will defend you, Skitty. They're kids. They're dumb kids. And also, yes, I'm obviously going to recognize, even if they're adults, for some of your audience, because I don't imagine every single one of your audience members a kid, they're going to be a little bit more inclined to believe you or, you know, like you, just defend you off of just purely liking you. I mean, it's kind of bleak, but you definitely have a hug box. You definitely 100% have a hug box. But yeah.
About someone does not modify what has occurred. Does not change the fact that Skittybitty can't see anything wrong with such behavior from a YouTuber. When brought up to them, merely describing it as innuendo. If you believe...
Hold on, what does that say?
From a YouTuber. When brought up to them, merely describe...
This is more innuendo and not an actual point. Parents don't always have their kids' best interests in mind, and as a survivor of CSA myself, I'm intent on listening to young people when they speak up. You are taking conservative slop tubers at face value. Just a shadow box with Anthony. It's sad. Really? Really? Jeez. No, there's just something wrong with what you did. But, okay. As a survivor of CSA myself. Really? I don't... What would that have to do with this conversation, frankly? Like, we're talking about parents don't always have their kids' best interest in mind, right? Granted, we could be talking about, like, abusive parents. What does CSA survivor entail in this conversation? Like, I don't really see it. Like, it doesn't relate to neglect. It doesn't relate to homophobia. It wouldn't even relate to physical abuse, like, you know, punching or whatever, right? What is that? It just kind of felt like you just put your victim status up so that no one would combat it. I am intent on listening to young people when they speak up. I don't know. I feel like you're putting yourself in a risky position as well. No grown adult, even if they have a horrible past, should be interacting with random kids online in real life. No, I agree with you, Revolver Snake. 100%. Agree with you. But, dude, but obviously, we've also talked about on this channel, when people could obviously use, like, their victim status or what they're a survivor of, and, like, obviously we can recognize that happened. You could still be incorrect. You could still say something inaccurate. It doesn't make you, like, impossible to be wrong. God, we've talked about Courtney Pete so many times on this channel, right? Like, that, it doesn't make it, like, her immune to criticism when she's false accusing people of being rapists. Granted, I don't think Skittybitty's being that extreme from what I've seen, but it's just mind-blowing here. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Fuck me. But sure, let's keep going.
Describing it as innuendo. If you believe a kid is at risk, by all means, provide them resources. If necessary, contact CMEC or your national equivalent. A YouTuber should never, ever be directly instructing a kid on how to bypass their parents' wishes to give them money, whether it then occurs or not. No. Hard fucking no. Right.
No, don't watch Aiden. Don't watch Aiden. It's cursed. Okay. Yeah, no, like, I agree. I don't even know why there's a debate around this. Like, it kind of blows my mind that there even is. Thank you for the 2. Is 2026 the death of most media reviewers? God, I hope so. So, I want to, like, read something, because I'll be honest with you guys, right? I was curious of how, you know, Cy Scribbles has been doing as of late. You know, I'm just like, I wonder what she's up to. You know, there was a whole situation from a year ago. Granted, I still feel the same way I do about her. She's not really taking any precautions, doubled down, so yeah. But yeah, no. Oh, what's up, Elixir? Encouraging minors to get paywalled servers is so insane, especially when they are that young too. Minors and adults shouldn't be interacting that closely. Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, no, so this interests me because Cy Scribbles, and I will go over it again, just because I feel like some people need a reminder. Or some new people don't even know what the fuck, you know, happened. But yeah, no. So Cy and Skitty had a slap fight on Blue Sky. So, we have Cy Scribbles here saying, you know, it's interesting how you and Anthony Gramiglia both jumped right to pedo jacketing, and Skitty isn't attracted to kids, when no one said that. Why is that? Is it still predatory to manipulate a child into giving money because you're a YouTuber they like? Now, you might be wondering, what? What do you mean? Where do they say pedo jacketing? Well, here's Anthony sweeping. So Skitty said on a live stream once to someone in chat who said they didn't have a credit card that they could buy a Visa card, credit card to get into their Discord as a joke, but then pivoted discussing about how buying a Visa card can help someone out if their parents were homophobic and controlling. And that's literally everything. A joke turned into practical advice for us living with an abusive parent, textbook pedo jacketing. So, this is also very downplay and disingenuous. Live stream once. Even if we're not going to go off of Harmful's claim of saying that there's 100 instances, Harmful at least showed 2 to 3 times in one of his earlier videos. So saying it happened once, complete disingenuous framing. But also to someone in chat, very interesting that you're not mentioning it was to a minor. Very interesting. And yeah, it was a little bit of a joke until they literally flat out said, but they're not joking now. And we've already talked about the flaws with this. The flaws with this logic. What's up, Metal Man? But yeah, pedo jacketing. Where? At least when I'm sticking to creators making claims, I've not seen anyone say that. Maybe you guys have an unhealthy obsession of what chatters say. I don't see the pedo jacketing. But yeah. What does pedo jacketing even mean? So it would be, let's say someone gives you criticism, right? Let's say Anthony was to actually give me criticism, right? And I completely disregard it by falsely framing him as a pedophile. Because who's going to listen to a pedophile, right? That would be pedo jacketing. Completely wrong, completely fucked up, and not okay to do. Pedo jacketing is always wrong. Like when Skittybitty did it to Octorock Reviews like twice. And has not apologized for it once in the response video. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, also, what's up, Pinker? But then, they also say this. A lot of what Skitty did is reckless and should be criticized on those terms. But maliciously grooming kids? Nope. No way. So, reckless? See, reckless, I also feel like, is downplay language. Because Skitty did what they did intentionally and maliciously. Like, when we're talking about the stuff with Octorock Reviews, that was intentional. Pedo jacketing, they didn't accidentally do that, they did that intentionally. Trying to get people to deplatform his channel, that was intentional. And I know they don't feel remorse for it. I know, Skitty. But it's very downplay language. Oh no, the fact that Sai actually has a good point. So, yeah, that's a thing I've noticed. Anything that's like anti-Anthony, Sai's on it. But yeah, no, I could give Sai credit for having points I think that are just valid here. However, I think that they're only jumping on this bandwagon because it's anti-Anthony, but you know what? Fair enough. I can't really hate on that. But in response to this, Skitty says, this pearl clutching is ridiculous. Patreon's minimum age is 13. Entry to my Discord is $3. And the people running this smear campaign can't even come up with an example of actually inappropriate behavior. It's all innuendo and confirmation bias, and it's sick. Dude. There's stuff that I know, but I will say this. Even just with the public stuff, Skitty, it's not very appropriate to say, hey, everyone, look through this guy's Nazi and lolly posts. Not at all. That's not appropriate at all. That's not safe for work at all. That's highly inappropriate. But yeah. Then we have Sai saying, this isn't a smear campaign. You, an adult, instructing your suggestible child audience how they can secretly give you money, encouraging them to distrust their parents, but trust with your youth autonomy. Advocacy while drawing them closer to you. This is extremely inappropriate conduct. I agree. And then here's this awesome screenshot from Skitty. Literally, no harm is being done to these by letting them hang out in a fully safe for work Discord server where we primarily discuss Nintendo games. You're not an expert of authority for vulnerable youth. Either the uncomfortable truth is that nobody knows how to keep kids safe 100% of the time, whether at home, at school, or online, and if something, God forbid, were to happen on my watch, I would be responsible. The best thing you or I or any layperson could do to keep kids safe is empower them to advocate for themselves and listen to them when they talk. You're actually just making a perfect argument as to why you should just not have them in your server at all. Because keep in mind, Skitty, yeah, they did remove the minor role, but they didn't remove the minors. I don't really understand the fighting tooth and nail to keep 9 children in your server. It's pretty odd. But it's really weird. It's really weird behavior. But it's not a fully safe for work Discord. Like I said, you were literally talking about Nazis and fucking pedophile/lolicons in there. Like, that's not safe for work. That's not just a innocent little Legend of Zelda server. That is disingenuous. You're just lying. Oh, thank you for the 2. Why are you sweeping for Psy? L? Archer. Glad that you brought that up. So, some of you might actually wonder why I even have an issue with Psy scribbles. Right? Which, granted, some of you may not even have seen what happened or what took place, right? And Psy's audience doesn't really seem to care about this, which is quite odd, to be honest with you. Quite peculiar, in my opinion. But, yeah, no, I have a huge issue with Psy. And it's been the same issue for a year, which they have not changed anything about. There's been no new efforts or information that they went about to change this. Now, see, the thing is that's very interesting. The reason why it's interesting for Psy to weigh in on this is because they too have had an issue with a Patreon 13 Plus server as well. The only thing I could give to Psy is I don't have any cases of them directly doing anything with, inviting a minor or directly talking to a minor. Right? However, here's the thing. So let's get into this. So, they had an NSFW section. That already raises red flags for me. This is kind of how it started. So they had an NSFW room that was originally age-gated to be 18 plus. However, there was a minor that was let into it, and that's where things kind of got a little rockety. Rickety-rockety, right? And obviously there's issues with that. They had some pretty cucked defenses for it. In fact, actually, let me try to find it if I can. Because I remember making a tweet about this a while ago, right? And that's, again, this is kind of how stuff kickstarted. Because, hold on, let me, server. Not this, not this, not this, not this, not this, not this. Where is it? NSFW. Not this, this. So back in July 1st of 2025, I said, so wait, you let minor/people with no confirmed ages have access to an NSFW room and nuked it because someone posted NSFW in it. What did you think was going to happen? Why even take that risk? That is so reckless and stupid, bro. So we have Psy saying teenagers possibly having seen the NSFW section when it existed is grooming apparently. The irony being I finally nuked it because Bruce Bonikers, or Boinkers or whatever, posted revenge porn of Lio. That person's a freak within their own right, but yeah. So they made an NSFW room, and a minor was let in. The age of the minor, we're not really too sure. But then there's the blue sky with Foxezer saying, care to sexplain snowflake groomer? And yeah, Silly was a person that was a minor in the server, I suppose. And this was Psy's defense, rebuttal, if you will. Do you somehow think a teenager maybe seeing furry tits behind a spoiler is anywhere near the level of you talking about raping a female YouTuber to get back at a teenage boy? That's a weird argument, Psy. Really fucking weird argument. So, sure, I think you could argue what Fox said was probably in poor taste. Sure. Are you really going to try to make those comments that were said around other adults seem like it was worse than a minor being exposed to porn? That's a take. Yeah, that's 100% a take that you could have. But this is where it started. This is where stuff kind of kick-started with the server, right? So, let's get back here. So, yes, they had an NSFW section. I mean, the NSFW section was made quickly because Krim and I need to laugh at Stockholm passage that described the, let's say, southern regions of a female character as tangy. So, Stockholm. This is a very interesting thing. Psy came from, was a lily orchard or, a logger, right? Few people were. And with very good reason. I'm not even going to judge being a lily orchard A-logger, right? But Stockholm has been agreed upon socially to be written CP. In fact, even if we're going to disregard that, maybe you would care to see what Psy thinks about it. Well, here's Psy tweeting. There is a smoking gun of Lily Orchard confessing to writing CSAM. I know it seems like silly, horny pony fic, but the Dash family and Razzle Dazzle are full of explicit scenes involving young girls, child parents, incest, and child grooming. If you want to look through the horrors Lily Orchard proudly admitted to writing in 2015 for yourself, and then they link it, right? They link what they're considering to be CP. Well, maybe they didn't directly mean... Okay, so then this person said, yes, it could be legally considered CSAM in Canada. So Psy just linked onto, the open link to what they just said could be legally considered CSAM in Canada. Right? Then, that makes this a lot worse. So they made an NSFW section to laugh about their favorite segments of what they considered to be CP in Canada. Very bleak. Very bleak. But there's a fourth screenshot. This is Psy putting snippets of Stockholm into the server. Hopefully this will put that to bed. Now you all have to see it. This is what Courtney's raging about me laughing at and calling me a pedo for. So, this is already... You could have issues with this. Yep. Really fucking weird. But that's not where it stopped. Oh no. That's not where it stopped at all. So the server ended up, because when I covered it, this actually was leaks in real time. So these are some messages in the general room where everyone can access, including the minors. So we have Pestenchi saying, I cummed. Then we have, fun fact, confirmed if canon vampires cum vampire venom in Twilight. Bruh, did the moist womb also ovulate when aroused? She was reading it so seriously and I just about shit my pants laughing. Pretty sexual. Barbie tried me game, but she comes with accessories. I thought the user had to supply. She comes with accessories. Okay. And this gets pretty cooked here. I'm not even gonna lie. If it's already not cooked, it gets more cooked. I saw it since when I went through the post a few days ago, was like, oh, he looked at it beforehand and went up. Whatever, right? And that's responding to someone saying, in an archive, there was a pony pegging image he did not see, nor did anyone else. That's chopped. But then we have this person here saying, rip the minors in chat. Evidently he did not. Don't look that up. Rip Ant. It happens. And then we got this person, Wolfie, saying, also KP's pony Sona with cum all over her mouth and face. That's what the editor's for. Weird shit. Urgh. And then, right, again, yeah, pony pegging jump scare. Right, that was another thing said here. Where that video of Doge is playing D&D and one of them rolls to seduce the dragon, so the dragon puts it in the cum jar. I can't find it. If a giant evil femboy whispered in my ear like that, I would, I shan't. I like the reboot style. Yeah, it really does feel like the original style. Just drawn today. No, please go on. I always assumed it was to demonstrate them growing out of kid stuff like Digimon. In detail, let me write this down. Why he put his arm around like the Marluxia Zesty for no reason. And then here's Sai here saying, thank God for that space. And right under them, in the same minute, I would immediately come and die. Happy now? I understand. Lamau. So, this is pretty cooked for Sai, because it's literally directly under them. For sure. They definitely would have seen this. Right? So, sexual stuff gets said in their server. Right? What do they do about it? Well, that's just some rules in here. Teaching teenagers that sex toys exist is not pornographic. My health teacher in high school, so they're talking about sex toys, this person is. I forgot, I thought he was hot as a kid. But then, someone said, is this an 18 plus server? Sai says more like 16 plus, more like I treat it like public social media, which obviously has issues. Then, someone saying cum is bad, guys. Now, I've said this consistently each time. Saying cum, I guess, just in general, is not going to have any real harmful implications. Saying to and around kids, obviously is bad. That's very disingenuous, bro. Come on. Also, thank you for the 5. Leave the ponies alone. Why can't you people be normal? True? True? But then, we get some certified cope. What were we even talking about? Because cum chalice refers to yondev. Because someone says, I don't think you're grooming or anything, but do you think the cum jokes were too far? So Sai basically like alludes to all the cum comments just being specifically about the cum chalice. No? I mean, none of those screenshots actually had anything to do with the cum chalice. And even if it did, why the fuck would you make cum chalice jokes to kids? Weird. Fucking, that's just not right. But then I get the joke, I just wondered if the server should be 18 plus just to be safe. Well, thanks for your input, but I don't think I need this space. Sorry, I don't think this space is much different than Twitter, honestly. So they doubled down. This is why I've had an issue with Sai. Instead of taking any L's or ownership of their fuck up, they just doubled down and say, well, people saying things, directly and around minors in MySpace is exactly like a Twitter, a minor on Twitter individually just looking through it on their own accords. It's not. It's not. Obviously, community spaces are going to be different than doom scrolling for starters. I don't really think I need to explain that. And obviously, an adult talking directly or around minors, in that type of setting is going to be different than a minor just scrolling on their own. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Another case of fighting for the right to keep kids in your server. It's really fucking weird. It's really weird. So yes, granted, this is not really new information, I will admit, but it's interesting. This is why I've had an issue with Sai for over a year. And this is why she will forever run from me. She won't have a direct conversation. She won't chat with me about it. And she won't properly address anything head on. Because she avoids things like the plague. Because she's disingenuous. I don't really like Anthony that much, and I don't really like Skittybitty that much. But just because I don't like them doesn't mean I'm going to all of a sudden like Sai, because she's swinging at them too. Very simple logic. Thank you for the 5, the Glitch Rabbit. Can people stop being freaks around children for once, please? True. True. So, yeah. I wanted to get that off my chest. I really did. Thanks for the refresh, Ace. I forgot how much I hate it. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's been a while, right? It's been a little while. And I just felt like a refresher was fair and valid. But yeah. No, I don't really see, I don't really have a side that, in this I'm seeing as oh yeah, good. I agree with Sai's points, but I don't agree with the server stuff that Sai did, and honestly, this kind of just proves my point that she's only going at this because it's anti-Anthony rather than her having any consistent values. But, yeah. No, yeah. But there you go. That's the refresher on the Cy Scribbles lore. So yeah, it's not any misogynistic reason I dislike her. Never really was, to be honest. Like, I cover bad people, not just bad women. I thought that was a cope that was said, because it was like, people were saying that was only like in her server, they were saying I was only covering her because she was a female. I'm like, what? Dude, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know. This has consistently been my issue for like a year. I feel like the fact that you're dodging it with misogyny as well is very interesting. You'd rather try to paint me as a misogynist than address you having an environment that's dangerous to minors. But sure, I agree with your points against Skitty. Sure. But yeah, no, I don't forgive this. And you have not done anything to correct this. I will happily be wrong if you want to address it or have a conversation. I would happily engage in a conversation, and I would like to see evidence if there is change, or if you still remain to double down. But yeah, but yeah, like I said, she'll want to engage with me. She'll keep on running. But yeah, it is what it is. But I digress. Let's continue. So, moving on from that individual, Cy Scribbles, let's go on to Edgier Than Now. Now, this was the person I was talking about in the recap that kind of just came out of the blue, right? And yeah, as you can see from the title, a lesson in manufacturing outrage online. I don't really know who this guy is, I'm going to be honest. They, like I said, came out of the blue. Hiya, my name is Malachi, or Malaki, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. And I'm a writer and grad student who likes to talk about social issues, pop culture, and politics. I respond to arguments good and bad, and I've done a debate or two. But we don't talk about that. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with you after this video. But I do know that that's not going to happen.
Hey, folks.
Why is that? Well, let me just try to find Remnant's comment under here. Because I think Remnant even encouraged for Harmful Opinions and Edgier Than Now to have a conversation. Yeah, right here. You should talk to Harmful Opinions. It'd be interesting to watch. Would you be open to it? And Edgier Than Now here says, I'd happily talk to him privately. I'm not going to do Bloodspurt's debate, though. Sorry. So you make a hit piece on someone. See, why are we having this? Like, is there like a sickness in the water or something? Like, why are there so many people that are just making videos on people's credibility and they won't even engage with the person? It's kind of pussyfoot, I'm not gonna lie. Yo, what's up, the Jack of Slades? But yeah, no, it's kind of pussyfoot. You're gonna make a video or coverage on someone, not gonna be willing to talk to them? I'm willing to talk to people who I covered. Within reason. I'll be fair, if you're a pedophile, I wouldn't. I think that's a standard that most people could agree with. But it's like, if I'm talking about someone's content or their character and they want to like challenge me on that, I don't think there's been a single conversation I ran from. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's also a thing. I'd happily talk to him privately. So you're going to take your video and hope that you don't get public backlash, so you'll only engage with him privately. Bloodsport's debate, I mean, to be fair, I've never really seen Harmful Opinions debate necessarily. Not one-on-one with the person. I've seen his arguments in videos, but I haven't really seen him in debate format. But I don't know why you would have the impression that it would just go immediately to Bloodsports. I mean, this just kind of seems like a runner thing to say. Right? Like, this seems like a very runner type thing to say. But I digress. Let's get into the content, okay? Let's get into what they have to provide for ourselves. Yeah, provide for all of us. Just enjoying what happened so far. Just catching up on Skittybitty stuff. Harmful Opinions responded, went over Psy Scribbles, like, interesting server, again, and went over some slap fight between Psy and Skitty. That was probably a horrible recap, but right now we're going to go into Edgier Than Thou, who came out of the woodworks to defend Skitty and to paint Harmful Opinions as a liar. So let's go for it. Let's go for it. Yo, what's up, Pinker? Oh, thank you for the 5. Thank you for the 5, Francis. Edge be drinking the Flint, Michigan water, bro. Also, I don't need someone to tell me to donate to A-Space, hashtag PayPig. Based? Appreciate it? No, yeah, no, I appreciate it. It genuinely is really, like, I do appreciate it a lot. It does help a lot. Also, a fact that there's over 60 of you, let's try to get to 50 likes, okay? I believe in you, okay? I believe in you. Let's try to get to 50 likes. Subscribe if new. It helps the channel a lot, genuinely. Yeah, let's keep going.
Hey folks, in recent years I've become increasingly disillusioned with internet culture and people's willingness to manufacture and fuel drama for the sole purpose of milking content and attention. For the purposes of this video, I don't want or need you to care about the drama we're discussing in and...
That's weird. I don't want or need you to care about the drama we're discussing. Why? So right off the bat, we're not even 20 seconds into it. And you're essentially saying you don't want or need people to have context for you to start talking. That's starting to make your private conversation offer make a lot more sense. Not gonna lie. It just seems like, again, it just seems like you wanted to make a video on someone and have no consequences of public backlash. It's very pussyfoot, dude. Brother.
Of itself. What I want to draw your attention to are some of the patterns on display that hopefully you will watch out for moving forward, whether in internet drama, political theater, or douchebag coworkers. I think I've set a reasonable standard on this channel, but just to catch you up so that you understand where I come from, I try not to take most internet beef super seriously. I'll make a little fun of people when they try and fail to debunk me or whatever, but it's not all that deep. Ultimately, no matter how gross I think their beliefs are, the person on the other end is still a human being.
It kind of reminds me of the T community with how he operates. It's like people that will just always gossip, hope that they don't get held to their word, but they just gossip, and they want no, like, backlash for the gossip. They just want to, like, spill the tea. It's very bizarre. Very bizarre.
And I don't want to be, like, a source of torment for someone. Point being, I have no inherent issue with the decision to make a video about someone you don't like very much. That is completely in bounds. I do, however, have a problem with how certain people do it. Content warning for discussions of sexual abuse. The subject of our response today is a YouTuber
Why?
Calls himself Harmful Opinions. This is a YouTuber who primarily makes anti-woke drama slop, and his most...
Dude. Okay, I remember this. Nuxtaku Tectone Leaflet,
recent
bro, come on.
Surrounds Nintendo.
Come on. How is that? Dude. Anti-woke content is going after right-wing conservatives. Dude. Harmful is a wokey, dude.
Content creator, Skittybitty. Hopefully that's an accurate characterization. We're going to do something a little bit unusual by watching his videos in reverse. Actually, after writing most of this script, he's released now a 4th video on this supposed drama that I will not be responding to. Just keep in mind, as soon as the next sentence in this video, that I wrote most of this before he made even more content off of it. Unsurprisingly, this is a guy who loves the opportunity to keep a drama going for...
So, already, with the formatting, you won't talk about the new thing that it involves itself in the same topic, right? And you're talking about the videos in reverse, which would just purposely skew a timeline and try to make things confusing. Great start. Dude, I'm looking forward to this.
Or multiple videos, and in this case, he unwittingly gives the game away. This video is titled Skittybitty versus Parental Consent.
The first complaint is that I supposedly left important information out of my coverage when I talked about it. And you know what? Fair enough, you're right, I did. The second complaint is more of an accusation that I'm trying to make Skittybitty look like a nonce, that I'm pedo-jacketing. You seem to have misunderstood. I showed Skittybitty doing that to other people.
Yeah, no, Harmful Opinions never once pedo-jacketed. See, like, that's the bizarre thing, right? Like, they made it very clear. And, like, this is why I thought Anthony's point was stupid. It's like, well, I don't think you should say minors and transgender in the same sentence. It's like, do you want to tell us something, Anthony? When you hear that in the same sentence, do you just automatically think they're pedophiles? Interesting. But no, he accurately descripted what happened. That's not pedo jacketing. All right? Doesn't even call them a pedo. Doesn't even insinuate they are one. But sure. Let's just go with that, bro.
Well, I went out of the way to say nothing of that kind of stuff was happening in that Discord. Not everything that is inappropriate with kids is sexual. It is nonetheless still inappropriate. And on top of all of that, the details
Yeah, like it would be inappropriate to give a kid a gun. Right? That's not sexual. It's far from it. But it'd be inappropriate to give a kid a weapon. It would be inappropriate to maybe let a kid watch a gory movie, right? It would be inappropriate for a lot of things. It doesn't always have to be sexual context. Now, I understand that we're on the internet, and usually when you hear inappropriate in kids, your brain probably goes immediately to the sexual context because of how often that gets talked about. But it doesn't always mean it does. No. There is surely other things that are inappropriate that could happen. That doesn't have to be in that type of context. And Harmful doesn't say it in a way where that wasn't clear. Completely unrelated, but Himpleton and Kino just discovered who Blaze the movie fan is. That's awesome. Dude, I had a call with that guy. That's awesome that they just discovered that. Dude, I might get some questions from them later. Peek. But yeah.
Cut out when talking about it were cut out for the purpose of harm reduction. What I omitted was something that makes Skitty look a little pedo-y.
Okay, I have two things to say here. First, my standard vis-a-vis internet pedo-jacketing. It's bad.
Yeah, great. Glad we could agree on that. Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, like, Skitty does it. It's pretty bad when Skitty does it. Yeah. It's pretty bad when anybody does it. No one's really taking a task about Skitty doing it, though. I don't really understand that. It's really fucking odd.
You shouldn't implicitly or explicitly accuse people of serious crimes simply because you think they're bad people, unless you have meaningful evidence to back it up.
Sure.
I do, however, think it's perfectly fine, for instance, to point out that supporters of Donald Trump are pedophile defenders.
What the fuck does this have to do with anything? Bro's just yapping.
We have plenty of evidence that Donald Trump is guilty of this crime, and his supporters, many of whom are not predators themselves.
So I said this the other day, right, when seeing this. There's a difference between supporting someone's ideals and ideologies versus their actions, right? Now, if we're talking about people who are like saying, Trump wasn't on the Epstein files, you're just lying, that's just propaganda. Okay, those people are retarded. Sometimes people don't know, but those people are just retarded, right? They would be, like, unintentionally defending that. Or if someone tried to defend the actions directly, being like, what's wrong with it? Yeah, sure. If someone tries to defend the idea of capitalism just because Trump supports that, that's not being a pedo supporter. Okay, not at all. That's supporting an ideology that happens to come from someone that would be a pedophile, right? Big difference. Big difference. But sure.
Are morally culpable for continuing to support him. You'll notice in the screenshot HO used that SB was doing the latter, not the former.
But it doesn't matter, because Octo didn't get mass reported. He certainly didn't get banned, and even if he did, I genuinely couldn't care less. His whole account is simping for Nazi pedophiles and crying about how the West has fallen. Simping for Nazi pedophiles. So, the problem is, there wasn't any pedophiles. See, no wonder why you said... No wonder why you said, oh, I don't want you or need you to know about the context of this drama. Skitty's just lying here. Skitty's lying about the framing here. And there is also a second example where they said, oh, of course they would like this AI clip. Anything with little girls Octo would like. That is pedo jacketing. 100%. But yeah, Skitty's just lying here. And you're just believing the lie. But okay. Sure. Sure. Fucking idiot, dude.
Second, let us imagine for a moment that we live in a world where what HO has just said is true.
He
has, through investigative techniques, uncovered evidence that a YouTuber is guilty of predatory behavior. That's a really fucking weird thing to leave out of your video, ain't it? From his perspective, he's created a drama video
He did do something about it.
Exposing a YouTuber's inappropriate behavior with kids, and left out the alleged smoking gun.
No, look, he did something about it, okay? He didn't run to, like, immediate public drama with it. He did something behind the scenes with it. That would have been a more responsible way to handle it. But yeah, no, he did do something about it. I don't really... It's very telling. I mean, you could have... I guess, to be fair, Harmful didn't really make that public. So it's possible you could have misunderstood that, but instead of just making the assumption, you could have either asked or reached out, because I think that you also admit that you're in speaking terms with Skitty, which makes sense why the video is the way it is. But yeah.
Remember when Elon Musk got booted out of MAGA for a bit and
the
posted
fuck?
that Donald Trump was covering up the Epstein?
Time to really trying to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is a real reason they have not been made public. And like, I remember when this got posted and everyone was just like, and the crowd went mild because it was just already like heavily talked about for like 2 decades.
Files because his name was in there, and we collectively had to act like we didn't just watch a guy admit that he'd been covering for a child predator until it was no longer convenient for him. Harmful Opinions wants you to think he's the Elon Musk in this situation.
No, he doesn't. He didn't do that.
Casually sitting on incriminating information until he has a chance to weaponize it. Now, were I...
He did not do that.
...an anti-woke slop tuber, this would be the moment I'd start pedo-jacketing.
What? What? Dude, if you were an anti-woke slop tuber, that's the moment you would pedo jacket? Really? Dude, come on. Come on. Basic research is looking into something a couple minutes could just disrupt this whole narrative. It's no wonder why you don't want to have a direct conversation. It really is no wonder. If you ever find that I'm streaming and want to have a chat about it, I'd be more than open to have a chat about it. But yeah, I won't engage in any blood sports running. See, here's the thing, Edgier than thou, and I will say this for the other person when that time comes too. When you make a video with all your points in it and you're not even willing to defend it directly to the person even that you're making it about, your points are probably not that good. Okay? Like, I'm not even gonna lie, right? You made a video and someone's gonna challenge you on it, but you don't want to be challenged on it. Why? Why? More often than not, that tells me you don't actually stand by what you said and you wanted no consequences to come from this. But yeah, sure.
Why would you cover this up, Mr. Opinions, sir? I'm kind of suspicious, don't you think? Except, of course, I know exactly why he did this. YouTube drama cycles operate on constantly increasing stakes. Every
He knows exactly why, despite it just being inaccurate.
Subsequent video has to make the situation bigger, worse, scarier in some way. H.O. admitted in his original video that he had looked and could find...
I hate to give Skitty a W, but this starting from Legend of Zelda drama got me playing Twilight Princess again. Based? The accused has the right to face the accuser. True. So yeah, Skitty, Skitty had the right to respond to Harmful Opinions, and Harmful Opinions responded to their jabs. That happens. That's just how that happens. Oh, what's up, Gilla? I can understand being nervous to actually discuss with the person you made a video on, but I mean, you will always look like a bitch when you run. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of comes off as you don't really stand by any of the points. Like, I feel like if Edgier than thou was actually in a conversation with Harmful Opinions, I have a hard time believing that they would actually be this confident and stand by anything that they say. I genuinely feel like it would just be, he goes 1 HP, and it's like, no, you're right. No, you're right. I was wrong here. No, you're right. No, you're right. I think that's the real reason they're terrified to have a conversation. But yeah, sure.
No evidence of real impropriety, but he wanted that sweet, sweet attention and possibly ad revenue. So he left some minor details out to give him an excuse to make a second follow-up video later and double his view count. The excuse he gives is that he left this information out as...
He also didn't know this since the beginning of the drama, right? So to accept this framing, you would have to believe that Harmful Opinions had a full timeline of every single thing at the beginning of the drama. Because that's the accusation here. Oh, he held this back so he can keep it going. But obviously, he didn't have it all at the beginning. He didn't even have it all at the second video. Right? He found out about it. Handled it privately, and then did something about it publicly. Come on. This is so mind-blowing.
Harm reduction. To translate what that means, he knows it's bullshit. If he legitimately believed
it's not bullshit
that kids were at risk, harm reduction would have necessitated he share it. Now, of course, even though HO has just admitted he's willing to leave out crucial information if it gives him an excuse to draw things out, we should probably look at that crucial information. By virtue of making content about Nintendo games, SB naturally has some kids in their audience. Here's the first relevant piece of investigative journalism in HO's video.
Skitty has also publicly passed a judgment on this young boy's parents, as they are ideological enemies.
I'm your dad. Go do your chores.
No. His parents are like homophobic crazy people.
Okay, I'm your internet uncle.
Before we continue, I'd like to clarify something. If you are homophobic and allow that homophobia to influence how you raise your child, you are doing them harm.
Great. You're punching ghosts right now, man.
Doesn't necessarily mean you're an abusive monster or that you're a 100% terrible parent, but you are objectively putting your bigoted feelings over your child's well-being. Harmful Opinions would like to make this a "you just hate Republicans" thing, but
What? That clip literally talked about the homophobic parents. What the fuck?
But it isn't. This is a simple fact about human societies. I am perfectly willing to entertain ideological disagreements with people and have made it quite clear that we should humanize people we dislike. But I will not compromise on objective reality. And
even pedophile? Kidding.
Frankly, I refuse to coddle the feelings of homophobic weirdos who care more about their personal vendettas than taking care of their families.
That's cool for you, bro. What's the relevance? You're just kind of saying stuff.
Much like it would be fucking asinine to defend neglectful parenting as simply ideological disagreement, it is complete.
When was this ever in the video, bro? Do you have like ADHD or something? Can you not like focus on the direct thing that you're engaging with? Because like this has no relevance to the conversation at all, dude.
Horseshit to defend bigoted parenting that way.
In a stream last year, Skitty plugged their Discord, and young lamented that he wouldn't be able to join. He doesn't have a card, or I suppose a PayPal or anything that he could use to pay for access to get into the private Discord. His parents also presumably wouldn't want him joining the private Discord of a queerness-focused YouTuber. No problem though. Skitty was there to help.
Anyway, if you want to join the Patreon, but you don't have a credit card, what you should do is you should buy yourself a Visa gift card at a store. I'm joking mostly, but
Dude.
I'm actually not really joking. If you are a child and you have crazy homophobic parents and you need to buy anything really, you should buy a Visa gift card because you could just spend that on anything. You can do that.
This now is the crux of HO's video. This was the horrible secret he was keeping. Now,
dude, come on.
I want to recap what we just watched so that we're on the same page. In this stream, the child in question wanted to give a YouTuber money. The YouTuber jokingly explained how to give them money before then acknowledging it as good general advice outside of donating to YouTubers. If you're not a complete hack, it's very easy to see what happened here. Imagine for a moment you run a no-cash business. A potential customer comes up to you and says, "Gosh, I'd love to buy your products, but I only have cash." To which you reply, "Well, if you really want to give me money, you could open up a bank account and get a debit card. Actually, you should probably open up a bank account anyway."
That's just not relevant at all. We're talking about a fucking kid, not a customer. We're talking about a child. We're not talking about some grown adult that just went into a store and got recommended another way that they could purchase something. We're talking about a fucking 13-year-old that's like still residing in middle school. That's just a dishonest explanation for that. Dishonest example. Dude. Bro, what the fuck? You're just being... I can't tell if you're being disingenuous on purpose or just this dumb. Brother. Dude.
The give me money part of the conversation was said lightheartedly, while the advice was given sincerely.
I never had to do shit like that because my parents are cool, but I support everyone who doesn't have cool parents.
What's up, Sneaky?
In their quest for autonomy.
The autonomy to give YouTubers money and gain access to private chat rooms their parents wouldn't want them in.
You may already have noticed some of the dishonest framing going on here, but it's
You may have already just noticed the dishonest framing. Dude, coming from you? You try to frame a streamer trying to educate a kid how to pay into a Discord server with a hypothetical of, imagine if a grown adult, just went into a business and, really was like, God, golly, I just really wish I could support this business financially. It's like, well, you could open up a bank account, sport. Dude, you are so dishonest to this video, bro.
Actually worse than it looks. To get the obvious out of the way, as far as we know, the reason the parents in this circumstance don't want their child in this environment is not over some safety concern or mental health reasons. It's because the environment contains minorities.
What? I mean, partially maybe, but first off, okay. So this is interesting because regularly, even homophobic parents would be thinking about their kids' safety. All right. Now, as harsh as that sounds, or how crazy that sounds, a homophobic parent will tell you or say to the kid, I don't want you in that server because there could be some creepy adults that say some things to you, right? Now, they could be being homophobic, they could be being transphobic, but their priority is still rooted in trying to protect the kid from harm. Granted, the logical reasoning behind it may not be 100%, but it's still there. And frankly, a parent doesn't really have to have that much logical rationale behind their reasonings to tell a kid what to do and what not to do. Granted, it could be debatable at points of being like, well, you can't tell your kid to do that. That's just abusive. That's insane. However, a common concern would be just letting a kid roam freely, all right? Roam freely on the internet, going into Discord servers and communities with strangers that they've never met. That strangers have always been a harm that could happen to children, and the internet is kind of amplified because of the ease of access to bumping into strangers, right? At least to avoid real-life strangers, you could just stay in your home all day. If you really, really wanted to take that route online, you could just bump into strangers even while being at home. It's way easier to bump into them. There's way more reasons to be concerned and worried. Your address could be at risk. Your money could be at risk. Like, personal information could be at risk. So much stuff could be at risk. There's a reason for these concerns. All right? There's a reasons for these concerns. And the fact that you're just framing it as like, oh, they're just only homophobic, it's just so dishonest. Very dishonest. When are you going to stream about Clover, little Jit? I plan on doing it sometime this week. But yeah, no. It's still a safety concern. But, sure. Fuck me. And to be honest, I'm not going to lie to you. The safety concern is valid when you got a creator themselves trying to ask everyone to engage in deplatforming a creator and looking through all their posts of Nazis and wall-to-wall lolicon posts, apparently, according to Skitty. Alright? So yeah, there is a reason to actually have the risk and worry. That's insane. You're just being intellectually dishonest. No wonder why. And I'm making all these points while also knowing the context of the situation. It's no wonder why this guy does not want or need you to know the context, because once you have the context, his arguments just start to fall apart. Just starts to crumble before you. Right? It's insane. It's insane. This guy needs you to not know the context so he can control the narrative. That is such a sneaky thing that they did in the beginning that's just so blatantly obvious. But yeah. Sure. Let's keep going, though. Fucking hell. But yeah, also remember to leave a like and subscribe. It helps a lot, guys. But anyways, let's keep going.
Leaving that out completely changes the tone of what we're discussing. This is my channel, so I'm going to tell you a brief story from my childhood. I'll change a couple of specific details just to keep it vague, just in case I end up telling this story again. When I was around 13 or so, my mom came up to me and said, "Hey, that person over there just told me that you called them stupid." Immediately, I asked her, did they tell you why I called them that? They, of course, hadn't. So I explained that this person had just gotten done telling me that the blacks were better off under Jim Crow. To which I, of course, said, That's stupid. I was an eloquent 13-year-old. My mom...
I was an eloquent 13-year-old. What were you, young Sheldon, bro? Sure look like them. I was just like the smartest 13-year-old that you would come across, yeah. I recognize racism bad, so yeah. Dude, come on, bro.
Mom gave me a look of horror at this, because of course that changed the tone of the interaction quite a bit.
Okay.
The point I make in telling you this is that the asshole in this situation, the person who said something very racist, probably knew that if they told my mom the whole story, she'd take my side. So they left out a crucial detail that completely changes things. But it remains the case that the sentences, "I'm your parent and I don't want you going to parties with drugs," and "I'm your parent and I don't want you going to parties with non-whites," are completely different sentiments, and one of them is not deserving of the same consideration as the other. The other, more important little misrepresentation he has here is the fear-mongering over...
No, I agree, Archer. This sounds like a story that never happened. I mean, if I'm good faith and engage with it, sure. But yeah, no, it is anecdotal. It's probably not gonna... The guy probably has to recognize that it's gonna be disregarded, possibly, because it's like, okay, proof. But let's just regard it for a second. That has nothing to do with this video at all. Nothing to do with anything that was said. But I digressed it.
For private chat rooms. I point this out because, of course, the purpose in saying this is to imply shady behavior. What's going on in these private chat rooms? This is...
You're gonna feel so stupid soon.
This is another reason why he spread this information across 2 videos, because Harmful Opinions actually spent time in these private chat rooms, and here's what he found.
Skitty's...
Okay, so I will say here, too, because the guy does make it clear, he only came in there to look for the slap fight stuff, and that's why he found the deplatformation comment. Okay? That's why he found that. He didn't actually dig through there thoroughly. He didn't do like a deep dive dig. Right? So, yeah, no, not everything that's in the server is going to be talked about, but with what we do know, again, the person, Skitty, was literally directing their audience to look at posts to do with Nazi and wall-to-wall lolicon stuff. That's not a safe for work space. Okay? That's just not safe for work at all.
Discord has a setup that I think is incredibly unwise. Now, it's clean. There's no porn. You're not allowed any not safe for work. I don't believe there'd be anything awful happening in there.
Yeah, see, I don't believe that there'd be anything awful happening in there. Because he didn't look. Right? From what he saw, yeah, there was that stuff not there, but he just, frankly, just didn't really look. As soon as he says that, that kind of confirms that. He looked for what he was looking for the slap fight stuff, but he wasn't sitting there to look for... Like, the server's been around for years. There's lots of messages. Yeah, he's not going to find everything. Thank you for the 2. I could fix her ace. Actually, Skitty goes by, I believe, he, they, or they, them. They, them to be safe. I kind of forget. But yeah.
But it does welcome kids. It does welcome minors. Generally, I'd say do not do that. But if you do and everything's clean, okay.
I'll address his follow-up complaint and the issue of responsibility in a moment, but to be unambiguously clear, this guy openly admits that he did not find concerning content in the server. Then,
yeah, because he didn't really look.
2 videos later, he's implying that allowing a kid into this server is...
the little pedo-y.
I'm gonna be mean.
Little pedo-y? Dude. Yeah. Dude, I just... Guys, you don't need to or I don't want or need you to know the context of this. Yep. Really trying to control the narrative here. Yo, what's up, Remnant? Yeah, no, holy fucks.
For a second here, this guy does not give a flying fuck about child safety, nor does he care about finding and exposing dangerous...
Okay, not to, like, glaze and make this argument, but, like, this is the guy that helped a lot when it came to my knowledge. I know that he had, like, some involvement, was, you know, talking about the Nux Taku server, talked about the leaflet stuff. It's like, sure, maybe people don't wear it like a medal to be like, I'm like the arbiter of kids like Skitty does, but obviously we would care enough to talk about it when there's bad improprieties going on, right? But to just say, oh, he doesn't care, holy assumption, dude. Holy assumption. Also, Bumblebee Space. Yeah, this is B Space. Okay. Had it for a year because of that one stupid Invincible edit where it's like, Mark, this is good news. We can be bees. We will live for 30 years. But yeah.
Behavior. He's either a knowing liar or a complete lunatic. To be unambiguously clear, because apparently this is difficult online, I'm not accusing him of predatory behavior himself, and I think anyone who tried to do that would be...
Who the fuck insinuated that? Thanks for making it clear, I guess. The fuck?
Grasping at straws, as far as I can tell. What I am accusing him of is willingly exploiting the subject for attention and money, drip-feeding information and manipulating his viewers to allow him to keep reheating the same...
Manipulating his viewers, coming from the guy that says, I don't need or want you to know the context of this situation. Okay, dude. Okay.
Nachos over and over again. Now, in saying that, I said he's reheating nachos. That implies that there existed nachos to reheat. So let's play one more clip to make sure that we're on the same page.
Point of concern one, though. The minors are tagged. The minors have a minor role, at least the ones that identify themselves. That seems extremely dangerous to me. Fish in a barrel for pedophiles is how I'd describe it. Like, you can let them in while also being like, if you're identifiably clearly a kid, though, you're out. Something like that. Because that's most of the protection, right? The identification of a target for these people. It needs to be very risky for them to try and pull something. If the vulnerable people come pre-packaged and pre-labeled, that's just my take on it.
Getting over the sensationalist fish in a barrel language that any sane person understands to be over-dramatized to get viewers riled up.
Dog, it's literally putting targets on the kid's back when you give them that role. That's why there's an issue with it. I don't understand why there's even a defense of it. Even like, yeah, if you actually follow through with it, Skitty even also recognized it as an issue and removed the role. It's bad. And I understand the original intention was, well, I didn't want any case of people to say that they didn't know they were talking to a minor. But obviously, the 180 with that is, yeah, sure, you made them know so they wouldn't accidentally do it. You just only have them know so that they could intentionally do it. Like, I don't know. It's just, like, yeah, it makes predators who obviously are looking for kids, gives them a very neon-colored target on their backs. It's dangerous. It really is. It is dangerous.
This Discord structure was irresponsible. Having a minor tag is not a good idea, and whilst I believe SB removed that tag before I was even fully aware of this drama, I said as much privately.
Just to clarify, in case my wording is a little bit ambiguous here, the minor tag was removed, and to the best of my knowledge, that happened before I was like aware of it. That's all that I meant there. I'm just going to link their response video in a pinned comment if you are concerned about any of the like specific details here. Although again, I don't think that you need to be to understand what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think you guys need to know the context, honestly. I think you should just take my word at face value. Dude, fuck off.
This would be, were an honest...
And also that is admittance that he's talking to one on the side of the party, so it just makes it look like he's white knighting.
...person making it, a valid critique. Or rather, it is a valid critique made in an extremely dishonest way.
No, it's not. It's not dishonest. That is the exact harm with it. You guys say it's pearl clutching, but not really explaining why it is. In fact, if it was pearl clutching, you wouldn't do anything about it. It's a valid critique, and you guys are just mad that it's a valid critique because it's giving pushback. That's so dumb.
Further, child safety online is a difficult thing to get perfectly right. That's not an excuse to get it wrong, but it does mean that we need to be a little bit introspective here. We should all know by now that the majority of victims of child sexual abuse were abused by someone they knew and trusted.
Okay, again, so we're about to make this argument. This is why you just should not have minors in your space. Like, yeah, you guarantee none in your community are harmed if you don't have them. I don't really see the need to obsessively try to defend having kids in your community and fighting tooth and nail to keep them in your space. It seems very fucking weird.
This is not to discount the importance of online safety, not by a long shot, but it is, I don't know, a tad relevant when you're advocating for authoritarian parenting and mocking the concept of kids having autonomy. I'll admit that I find this topic fucking infuriating, having seen example after example in my life of families protecting and covering up predators simply because they're related to them. But the ultimate point is, you may disagree where
yeah, because they're emotionally compromised. Yep.
line is placed when it comes to red flags from people's families, and many of these red flags point to different kinds of abuse, emotional, physical violence, what have you. But if you cannot understand why a person who can't materially change the situation might see some of the red flags of emotional abuse and point a kid towards autonomy, then I do not believe you are thinking straight. Also, just so that we're entirely clear on this, none of the situations I'm referring to involved me directly in any way.
Thanks for that, bro.
was not a victim in this circumstance. Mr. Opinions has made 4 videos now on this.
Yeah, appeal to emotion just comes off like that, for sure. It just had nothing to do with that. It's like, cool story, bro. Relevance? Like, come on.
This drama that he's manufactured, and with the release of this, he's bound to make more. But I hope you at least gain something from seeing the ways that statements can be manipulated or reframed to...
Oh, you show me a lot about statement manipulation, okay, with what you did. No wonder why you won't engage in any conversation, dude. Please don't know the context of the situation, okay? Please just let me talk and have no consequences. Fuck off.
Imply things that the creator is too cowardly to just state. Moving forward, if you end up getting sucked into internet drama, first of all, my sympathies. And second, I hope you remember that the people making drama content want your attention and your interest. And whilst it doesn't inherently mean that everything they say is a lie, it does mean you should take a look at it with an extreme degree of certainty. And for the record, while I don't think I'm much of a drama person, that goes for me too. People have fairly pointed out times in the past where I've misinterpreted something or taken a statement out of context.
So you have a history of this. Why am I not surprised?
And the people who catch these mistakes are often the best equipped to actually comment on the situation because they're listening actively and making up their own minds. Be that person. Anyhow, thank you for watching this. Consider liking the subscribe button and giving me just so much fucking money on Patreon. Like, if everyone watching this gave just $1,000, then I'd be rich.
Alright, they're doing this for money. They're doing this for money. Please give me money. I'm fucking broke living on a college lifestyle. Dude. Holy fucking chops, dude. This video is evil. Okay. Video is diabolical. But yeah, no. So, I didn't really like this video that much. The guy won't directly engage. The video was filled with irrelevant points and just dishonest characterizations of arguments, and he literally said that he didn't even want you to know the context of this. But, sure. Sure. Let's see, Harmful Opinions respond to this. Okay. Let's see it.
The video is called A Lesson in Manufacturing Outrage Online. It's by Edgier Than Thou, and the thumbnail says, Spotting a Liar. If I skip anything, I'll tell you what I skipped and you can go look yourself. I'll link it below. Let's see what our guy has to say.
Hey folks, in recent years I've become increasingly disillusioned with internet culture.
Disillusioned with internet culture? What sort of esteem did you ever hold it in? Thank you to the people who sent this to me. Have a feeling this will be great.
And people's willingness to manufacture and fuel drama for the sole purpose of milking content and attention.
This is very nice. This is very refreshing. Normally when people talk about me, my viewers, they complain because my output is so low. I'll just go a month without making a video because I don't feel like it. I won't argue with them. I am a content god.
For the purposes of this video, I don't want or need...
It's awesome that he doesn't have to actually engage with the argument that enabling children and subverting parental supervision is actually negligent, even if you have virtuous motives. Yeah, he's running away like a motherfucker. Also, thank you, Francis, for the 5. I'd rather donate to you. Get mogged, Edgier. True! Let's own this guy with more donos, dude. I'm kidding. But yeah, let's also like up and get to 50 likes, guys. I believe in you. I believe in you. Okay? I believe in y'all. I believe in us. Okay.
Need you to care about the drama we're discussing in and of itself.
Yeah, I believe that this guy really wants people not to care. Seems about right.
What I want to draw your attention to are some of the patterns on display that hopefully you will watch out for moving forward, whether in internet drama, political theater, or douchebag coworkers.
Dear audience, here's what to do if your coworkers start acting like Harmful Opinions.
True.
I'm talking about how you've been weird with a kid. Alright, dude, let's hear your strats.
I think I've set a reasonable standard on this channel, but just to catch you up so that you understand where I come from, I try not to take most internet beef super seriously. I'll make a little fun of people when they try and fail to debunk me or whatever.
No need to ever say this. Just behave in such a way. Right now, you're simply broadcasting that you have issues. Show, don't tell. Embody, don't posture.
But it's not all that deep. Ultimately, no matter how gross I think their beliefs are, the person on the other end is still a human being, and I don't want to be like a source of torment for someone.
Do you think you could be? Where do you guys find these people? This is the yin to Skittybitty's yang.
Dude, Harmful Opinions is dealing with so much torment after this video dropped. It's why he won't speak anymore these days. It's kind of tragic, actually.
I think these people need to learn the meaning of fear.
What?
People are getting way too bold, saying disgusting shit on the internet.
Point being,
Well?
I have no inherent issue with the decision to make a video about someone you don't like very much. That is completely in bounds.
If there was concern in parents being abusive, tell them to call CPS or talk to a school counselor. Do not make it your responsibility. You're a stranger. That's weird. True. True.
Thanks for your permission. I appreciate it.
I do,
Well?
however, have a problem with how certain people do it. Content warning for discussions of sexual abuse.
Why? Is this going to be another one of those, this person's been raped so they can do whatever they want, people? Had enough of that with the lolicons, man.
The subject of our response today is a YouTuber who calls himself Harmful Opinions. This is a YouTuber who primarily makes anti-woke drama slop.
He says with videos shitting on Leaflet, Tectone, and Chibi reviews on screen.
And his most recent drama content
Scrolling down to videos shitting on Nux Taku. Videos about plagiarism.
surrounds Nintendo content creator Skittybitty.
Scrolls down to me shitting on Candace Owens and David Wood. Are you blind? Did you look at what you were screen capping? Or is that anti-woke to you? As before, it's refreshing though, and normally I get called a Hassan suck-up.
Hopefully that's an
Lol.
accurate characterization.
Sure, buddy, okay.
We're going to do something a little bit unusual by watching his videos in reverse. Actually, after writing most of this script,
You scripted this? This is a poor performance already if you're going off the top of the dome, like I do in my vids. I just sit down, talk for 10, 20 minutes, whatever, depending. In this case, it's a bit different. I'm playing the video, talking, but you get what I'm saying.
he's released now a fourth video on this supposed drama that I will not be responding to. Just keep in mind, as soon as the next sentence in this video, that I wrote most of this before he made even more content off of it. Unsurprisingly, this is a guy who loves the opportunity to keep a drama going for multiple videos.
Yeah, that's fair enough. If shit keeps going, I'll keep talking.
And in this case, he unwittingly gives the game away.
It's pretty transparent, man. I see stuff that compels me to make a video, I make a video. People talk back or something happens, I talk more.
This video is titled Skittybitty versus Parental Consent.
The first complaint is that I supposedly left important information out of my coverage when I talked about it. And you know what? Fair enough, you're right, I did. The second complaint is more of an accusation that I'm trying to make Skittybitty look like a nonce, that I'm pedo-jacketing. You seem to have misunderstood. I showed Skittybitty doing that to other people. Well, I went out of the way to say nothing of that kind of stuff was happening in that Discord. Not everything that is inappropriate with kids is sexual. It is nonetheless still inappropriate.
Sure.
And on top of all of that, the details I cut out when talking about it were cut out for the purpose of harm reduction. What I omitted was something that makes Skitty look a little pedo-y.
Okay, I have two things to say here. First, my standard vis-a-vis internet pedo-jacketing. It's bad.
Very agreeable, sure.
You shouldn't implicitly or explicitly accuse people of serious crimes simply because you think they're bad people.
It's not just of doing a crime, it's of being in an unacceptable state of existence,
Yep.
having an attraction to kids. Part of why it's nasty is because if you're just painting them that way, they can't really prove they're not. A more concrete accusation of an action can be disproven. Accusations regarding how you feel, harder to shake. Gotta be real certain before you go in like that.
Unless you have meaningful evidence to back it up.
Yep, to be clear, bro's right. I was just adding a bit more.
I do, however, think it's perfectly fine, for instance, to point out that supporters of Donald Trump are pedophile defenders. We have plenty of evidence that Donald Trump is guilty of this crime, and
Any of that aside, I would actually relax my standards for public figures and especially politicians.
his supporters.
That's right. Skittybitty is one of the most beloved creators that I've ever seen. How sad. Really great. Really jolly. Skittybitty is one of the best media reviewers I've ever seen. Honestly, Skittybitty is up there with the greats. Cy Scribbles, Anthony Gramiglia, the Birdman. Literally the best media reviewers I've ever seen. Not like that hoax. Not like that absolute hoax. Critical drinker.
Like, okay, dude, I just see no relevance of Trump in this, bro.
Many of whom are not predators themselves, are morally culpable for continuing to support him. You'll notice in the screenshot HO used that SB was doing the latter, not the former.
Ah, not true. The latter was done to Octo. The former was done to anyone he interacts with online. When you say his whole account is simping for Nazi pedophiles, you're saying something about the people he interacts with or says positive things of. Are you a gamer? It's an AoE pedo claim. Hits everyone, especially people that Skitty has previously put a spotlight on Octo interacting with. Are all of them pedophiles with concrete evidence? If he literally only interacts with pedophiles, fair enough, Jesus Christ, but I ain't digging into that. Did you?
Second, let us imagine for a moment.
No, he wouldn't dig into that because he doesn't want you to. He doesn't need or want you to know the context. What's the context? I just joined. I mean, this is kind of following suit after context with the Skittybitty stream I did last time, and now we're looking at a slap fight between Edgier the Now, who came in to sweep for Skittybitty, and Harmful Opinions is defending himself. So, yeah.
That we live in a world where what HO has just said is true.
It is.
He has, through investigative techniques, uncovered evidence that a YouTuber is guilty of predatory behavior.
Just a YouTube transcript search, and in my opinion, they are.
That's a really fucking weird thing to leave out of your video, ain't it?
No. Alright, let's hear it.
From his perspective, he's created a drama video exposing a YouTuber's inappropriate behavior with kids, and left out the alleged smoking gun.
I didn't just leave it out. I cut it out of the video. Some people noted how severe my language was, despite having shown a milder thing. That's because originally I was talking about that as well, and I had to Frankenstein by recording a bit. Now, I'm looking at this blind, and I want to be fair, so let's listen to some more of what he says. Maybe he does understand or has figured out why.
Remember when Elon Musk got booted out of MAGA for a bit?
What in the fuck?
And posted that Donald Trump was covering up the Epstein files because his name was in there, and we collectively had to act like we didn't just watch a guy admit that he'd been covering for a child predator until it was no longer convenient for him.
Oh no, bro, you're being silly here.
Harmful Opinions wants you to think he's the Elon Musk in this situation.
Not really, and in no context would I wish to do that, unless we're talking about wealth.
Casually sitting on incriminating information until he has a chance to weaponize it.
No, I didn't sit on it. I actually used it instantly, just not to make a YouTube video with. Feel free to disagree with me, but I am not joking when I say how fucked up I think it is for a YouTuber to be talking to someone they believe is 13 like that. I see any fucking YouTuber talking directly to a kid like that. You're getting snitched on. If it helps, imagine it was me talking like that directly to a kid, instead of a little ooh-woo age regression voice plushie role player.
Now,
yeah, everyone, I think everyone would actually just call Harmful Opinions a pedophile if the roles were reversed. But because it's Skittybitty, it's like, well, no, they're just really wholesome. They're so family-friendly. They're so great. Dude, come on.
Were I an anti-woke slop tuber, this would be the moment I'd start pedo-jacketing. Why would you cover this up, Mr. Opinions, sir? I'm kind of suspicious, don't you think?
Totally misunderstanding. There's a balance where if something might be a threat, awareness helps avoiding it, right? But at the same time, if you know stuff you think is real bad is out there, you don't want to draw attention of that person to it until you know the right people have their hands on everything. Like as this guy who's supposedly pumping out anti-woke slop, I could have made that video instantly. Why do you think I waited a week? It's a complicated balance. Feel free to disagree with my approach. Feel free to disagree with how severe you think this stuff is. But I wasn't doing that.
Except, of course, I know exactly why he did this.
Absolutely not, because you're a YouTube-brained homunculus.
YouTube drama cycles operate on constantly increasing stakes. Every subsequent video has to make the situation bigger, worse, scarier in some way. HO admitted in his original video that he had looked and could find no evidence of real impropriety.
Totally untrue. I commented on the contents of the Discord. I suggested there was no sexual impropriety. There was some borderline stuff with someone with a minor tag talking about like who would date who and height and stuff, but I felt it didn't cross a line. Far from saying there was no real impropriety, I pointed out 2 examples. There's minor tags, the kind of thing I've been talking about being a bad idea for about a decade now, a feature which has now been changed. Good, and I suggested when you are so welcoming of minors, as young as 13, you shouldn't be linking them to Nazi pedophiles on Twitter.
But he wanted that sweet, sweet attention and possibly ad revenue.
I know people who watch my stream are raging at this guy. Don't encourage the bold fuck to leave more juicy stuff on the table. I'm already too lazy about making videos. Past year, maybe more than a year, I've spiked like half of the videos I've made.
So he left some minor details out.
Pun intended?
to give him an excuse to make a second follow-up video later.
I don't need an excuse to make videos. I would have happily talked about the same thing 5 times if I felt like it.
Yeah. No, so it's it's kind of funny because I think like Harmful Opinions, it's unironically like posted more within the last couple weeks than he has in like the span of a few months. But yeah, no, really, like I said, yeah, really odd points. The guy is being disingenuous. The guy is trying to frame him a certain way that just isn't accurate. It's very touched.
I operate on whims. Actually look through my stuff. I think that's pretty apparent. Just every now and then I get something stuck in my craw.
And double his view count. The excuse he gives is that he left this information out as harm reduction. To translate what that means, he knows it's bullshit.
No, I genuinely think it's totally fucked up. Some fucking weirdo stranger on the internet talking to a kid like that. No. I wasn't joking about feeling a bit fucking ill in my first video. That's not kidding. I wasn't pretending. I sought advice and I was advised to report it. I think maybe a fair critique would be that I talked about it at all. Maybe, but like I said, it's sort of a balance. I think people should know. I think it crosses the line into public interest. Again, feel free to disagree.
If he legitimately believed that kids were at risk, harm reduction would have necessitated he share it.
I did. Not in a YouTube video, though. Again, like, I could understand a criticism that you think I didn't wait long enough, but that was my judgment on the balance of people should know versus I don't want to give someone a chance to sweep stuff up.
Now, of course, even though HO has just admitted he's willing to leave out crucial information if it gives him an excuse to draw things out.
I used to stream for 8 hours a day. I can draw anything out forever if I feel like it with no excuse. Right. Silly. Raped, retarded, ghetto Hollywood YouTube mindset. Content brained.
We should probably look at that crucial information. By virtue of making content about Nintendo games, SB naturally has some kids in their audience.
And I mean, literally everyone does. How you manage that is what matters.
Here's the first relevant piece of investigative journalism in HO's video.
Skitty has also publicly passed a judgment on this young boy's parents, as they are ideological enemies.
Is SB supposed to be Skittybitty? Like, hold on, let me look. Skittybitty. Oh, they're live right now. Lol. I'm not gonna stream snipe them. I'm a good boy. I'm like if the sleepiest person in the world was awake. Okay. What about their blue sky? I'm not seeing anything. Maybe that's like a community nickname. I have no idea. Maybe it's another person entirely. It just seems like they're referring to Skitty when they say SB, but I don't know where they're getting that from. But yeah.
I'm your dad. Go do your chores.
No, his parents are like homophobic crazy people.
Okay,
I like how he censored the name, but like this Edgier than Thou guy censored the name, but you can still blatantly clearly still see the name in chat.
I'm your internet uncle.
Firstly, nice attempt at censoring the kid's name, but it's on
okay, whoops.
Green. I just went for a standard of censoring any full usernames, but it's genuinely really
I'm listening to on headphones and I swear Edgier sounds very similar to Nux Taku. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Hard, and I don't blame you because of how plastered with little kids Skitty's content is. Also,
oh, so you mean like SB as like SB, not like, you know, SP. Like, I don't know, I guess I spelled it like ESPY for some reason. But no, if they're literally just saying the letters SB, because they like also lowered down Harmful Opinions to like HO, then fair enough. Dude, I just blanked. Lol.
Cutting the clip. Can I just say that's fucking insane to me? Very normal, you know, just a stream where someone's amplifying the complaints of someone who claims to be 13 to thousands of people. Is that not bonkers? Hey guys, check this kid out. They're super fucking vulnerable and very receptive to anyone who validates their complaints about their parents. Check it out. What does this guy think about it?
Before we continue, I'd like to clarify something. If you are homophobic and allow that homophobia to influence how you raise your child, you are doing them harm. It doesn't necessarily mean you're an abusive monster or that you're a 100% terrible parent, but you are objectively putting your bigoted feelings over your child's well-being.
And the way to deal with that, of course, is to form some sort of weird, overly familiar personal relationship with a YouTuber, yeah?
Oh, dude. It's crazy. I don't even know how this is even, like, argued in defense for. It's insane. Oh, thank you, Polymations. Just subscribe to you. Yeah, subscribing really helps a lot. It genuinely. It's great. I appreciate it. And also, let's try to get to 50 likes, guys. All right, I believe in you. We got over 60 people here. Everyone just click the like button and go back to doing the drawing tabs and just gaming. I believe in y'all. I believe in y'all. But yeah, thank you, Polly. Thank you, Polly.
Yeah?
Harmful Opinions would like to make this a you just hate Republicans thing.
I'm impressed. He caught that I was doing something there. Not exactly my intention, though. Not quite. The point is to, like, inflame, I guess, people like this guy and push them to be a bit more loose and free with how they justify the behavior of YouTubers. Has he fallen in the trap? Let's see.
But it isn't. This is a simple fact about human societies.
Immediately, it's looking like no, actually. Good job, mate.
I am perfectly willing to entertain ideological disagreements with people and have made it quite clear that we should humanize people we dislike. But I will not compromise on objective reality, and frankly, I refuse to coddle the feelings of homophobic weirdos who care more about their personal vendettas than taking care of their families.
Nice, agree.
Much like it would be fucking asinine to defend neglectful parenting as simply ideological disagreement, it is complete horseshit to defend bigoted parenting that way.
Nice and balanced. Fair enough. Are we going to go any deeper, though, and discuss the reality of the situation, where this is occurring, that this is so...
Yeah, no, like, it's kind of mind-blowing to me that Edgier Than Now made a video that was, like, nearly 14 minutes and managed to sidestep away from the actual important conversation to have there. And, yeah, you could have problems with it without trying to say it's pedo jacketing. I don't, like, that seems like such a deflection to try to say, oh, you're pedo jacketing for having an issue with this. What? What? That's insane. That's actually insane. Yeah, fucking hell. Obviously, there's going to be an issue with a streamer educating a 13-year-old of how to essentially lie to their parents and buy a Visa card to bypass their parents' supervision to get into a Discord server. Bro. That's mental. That's psychotic. That's insane. The fact that that gets any defense is just absolutely ludicrous.
Someone claiming to be a kid who is also asking other people who claim to be kids for their Discord details and so on and so forth. You know, appropriate ways to approach this, etc., etc. Looking forward, the answer is no. In a stream last year, Skitty plugged their Discord, and young lamented that he wouldn't be able to join. He doesn't have a card, or I suppose a PayPal or anything that he could use to pay for access to get into the private Discord. His parents also presumably wouldn't want him joining the private Discord of a queerness-focused YouTuber. No problem though. Skitty was there to help.
Anyway, if you want to join the Patreon, but you don't have a credit card, what you should do is you should buy yourself a Visa gift card at a store. I'm joking mostly, but I'm actually not really joking. If you are a child,
I'm joking mostly, but I'm not actually really joking. Good one.
And you have crazy homophobic parents, and you need to buy anything really, you should buy a Visa gift card because you could just spend that on anything. You can do that.
This now is the crux of HO's video. This was the horrible secret he was keeping. Now,
yeah, totally insane, massive red flag behavior between a YouTuber and a child.
I want to recap what we just watched so that we're on the same page. In this stream, the child in question wanted to give a YouTuber money. The YouTuber jokingly explained how to give them money before then acknowledging it as good general advice outside of donating to YouTubers.
Funny way to say, explicitly stated they were not joking.
Yeah, no, it's just very dishonest.
Personally see someone hesitating about what they just said and then biting the bullet.
If you're not a complete hack, it's very easy to see what happened here. Imagine for a moment you run a no-cash business. A potential customer comes up to you and says, "Gosh, I'd love to buy your products, but I only have cash." To which you reply, "Well, if you really want to give me money, you could open up a bank account and get a debit card."
Nope, you're not pulling that. This was explicit.
The thing is, my parents got me a debit card, but they can see everything I spend on it, so I never use it. I just have like $150 in cash instead.
And specifically about hiding a purchase on Patreon from parents. Did you go look at things yourself, or are you just running on a video that a man you're calling a liar put out? That would be insanely irresponsible, wouldn't it? Additionally, I have to say, brother. Let's actually do this hypothetical, because it's not really analogous there, is it? A 13-year-old, not a customer, comes into an establishment, starts telling the shopkeeper bad things about their parents. The shopkeep commiserates with them and tells everyone else in the store about it. And in fact, whatever the kid's saying's bad about their parents means the parents wouldn't want them there. Later, the shopkeep decides to tell them, "Hey, we've got like a private lounge for this kind of people in the back, but it costs $3. 13-year-old tells the shopkeep, I don't have a means of paying for that. So the shopkeeper then explains to this child how they could pay without their parents knowing. But it's even worse, isn't it? For it to truly be analogous, this shopkeeper would have to be wearing a mask and refusing to let anyone know his name. Maybe where you live, people are different. Where I'm at, that shopkeeper would probably have to move.
Yeah, that shopkeeper would just get fucking jumped. Like that. Just absolutely arrested. This fella is a hack. The point is that the kid shouldn't be in a private server. Yeah, no, honestly, Edgier than now, they kind of just seem like a fucking mark for Skittybitty. I'm gonna be honest. It just seems like a fucking mark. Like, they're just defending everything just based off of what they say. Dude. Come on, bro. Like, you know what? If I wanted to be fair to both sides here, I think it's fair that for people, including Edgier than now, to come to the conclusion that Harmful Opinions probably did nothing with it. Would it be an assumption? Yes. But he didn't really make it that public that he did something privately with the information till now. Right? That would be explained now. Sure. That would be a thing I can give that would be fair. Sure. He didn't know. He would still be wrong for assuming he did nothing, but he wouldn't be wrong for thinking he did nothing. I think that would be fair. But confidently bold-faced framing it like he did nothing with this information, held it back just for content, is just inaccurate. But yeah, no. This is very fucking dumb, bro. Mind-blowing.
Actually, you should probably open up a bank account anyway. The give me money part of the conversation was said lightheartedly.
The classic gag, the classic bit where someone in their mid-20s tells a 13-year-old to do something, specifies they're not joking. Very funny.
While the advice was given sincerely.
I never had to do shit like that because my parents are cool. But I support everyone who doesn't have cool parents in their quest for autonomy.
The autonomy to give YouTubers money and gain access to private chat rooms their parents wouldn't want them in.
You may already have noticed some of the dishonest framing going on here, but it's actually worse than it looks. To get the obvious out of the way, as far as we know, the reason the parents in this circumstance don't want their child in this environment is not over some safety concern or mental health reasons.
Parents don't need a fucking reason for not wanting their kids in a YouTuber's private chat room. You don't want your child to hang out with me and my buddies? Unfortunately, your reasoning is fallacious.
Yeah, parents, how about you engage in a logical debate with me of why that you cannot let your 13-year-old hang out with all these stranger adults, huh? Dude, come on. Oh, thank you for the tale. Lio's adopted child. What's going on right now? I'm not adopted, but no, we're looking at I'm not even his child, no. But we're looking at a slap fight between Harmful Opinions and what I consider to be Skittybitty's biggest sweeper other than Anthony Gramiglia. But this is just bleak. This is unfortunately bleak. Fucking hell.
Child is mine. What are you on?
It's because the environment contains minorities. Leaving that out completely changes the tone of what we're discussing.
I didn't leave it out. It's in this video you're watching. Here I am, saying it. But also, specifically, to make sure this kid would be around people his parents are believed not to want him around, on account of their alleged homophobia. Did our guy just not understand what that sentence means? And regarding tone, I don't give a shit. Zero tolerance. So a guy tells some little story to illustrate, ooh, knowing the full details changes the tone.
So yeah, that is an example of Edgier than now with that clip. I would say that they maliciously left that out to try to make a point. He directly brings it up. It's kind of hard for me to see that they just didn't understand that and just misunderstood that. It's really hard for me to see that the know-it-all person missed basic context. That's just malice. They just maliciously left that out to try to, push their own narrative. Again, they literally start their video with, I don't want or need you to know the context of this situation. And the fact that they left out a clip that would dismantle an argument of theirs, that's really showing. Really showing. Not surprised they don't want to engage in a public conversation with anybody. Not at all.
I did include what he said I didn't include, and I think quite clearly, so I won't subject you to it.
The point I make in telling you this is that the asshole in this situation, the person who said something very racist, probably knew that if they told my mom the whole story, she'd take my side, so they left out a crucial detail that completely changes things. But it remains the case that the sentences, "I'm your parent and I don't want you going to parties with drugs," and "I'm your parent and I don't want you going to parties with non-whites," are completely different sentiments, and one of them is not deserving of the same consideration as the other.
Cool story, bro. Both fall short of justifying a YouTuber interacting with a child fan like that, in my opinion at least.
The other, more important little misrepresentation he gives here is the fear-mongering over private chat rooms.
Sorry, me saying it's private is a misrepresentation. Take that up with the owner, I believe that's their characterization as well.
Yeah, it's a Patreon server. So yeah, it is going to be private.
But emphatic that it's not public.
I point this out because, of course, the purpose in saying this is to imply shady behavior.
Incorrect. Doesn't even need to be anything happening. And we're certainly always going to be unaware of the full extent. YouTubers directly instructing 13-year-olds on how to bypass their parents' wishes or believed parents' wishes to get them into a more private space is behavior that should not ever be tolerated. That kind of involvement should not be happening and is obviously a gigantic red flag.
What's going on in these private chat rooms? This is another reason why he spread this information across 2 videos, because
which information?
Harmful Opinions actually spent time in these private chat rooms, and here's what he found.
He just plays the clip of me saying there's no NSFW allowed, I don't think there's anything sexual going on, so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure I do reiterate that in the later video.
I'll address his follow-up complaint and the issue of responsibility in a moment, but to be unambiguously clear, this guy openly admits that he did not find concerning content in the server.
I also didn't look for it. It's fair.
Yeah, see, he was very blatant that he only came in there to look for slap bite stuff, right? Didn't like vet the server to see if it was safe for kids. Like, come on.
Fair enough that you don't know because I didn't lay out the timeline.
Right.
So as I explained, when I was originally looking at this little scuffle between Skitty and Octo, the only thing I was really interested in was how tough Skitty was trying to come across. Calling Octo personal lolcow and so on and so forth.
Yep.
Flagged something in my mind like this person is way overcompensating for something. I think this is a little puss who's going to try and get this guy banned in secret. I went and I only looked for that, and I instantly found it. I also noticed that the people talking about the Nazi pedophile stuff they were sent to look at had minor tags. By the time I thought to look into anything like I found in the YouTube clips, I'd already been banned from the server. I don't know what's in there. I was just being charitable. I have been sent a couple borderline things by concerned individuals.
He also used the equity fallacy. Unequal outcomes always imply inherent discrimination. Yeah, no, I think that this guy's just been intellectually dishonest this whole time. Again, I know I keep hammering this point home, but it is a huge red flag. A huge red flag. When you start the video with, I don't want or need you to know the context. When the context make or breaks your arguments. There's a reason why this guy doesn't want you to know the actual story, because it gives him control of the narrative. It gives Edgier the Now control of the narrative. That's why he doesn't want you to know it. That's why he doesn't need you to know it. It gives you control of the narrative when you're going off people that are ignorant to what actually happened or unaware. It's exactly, it seems to be like what he wanted. Not gonna lie. But yeah, fuck me.
I was unable to verify myself, and given everything else, I'm not sure the wisdom of...
Oh yeah, so then we have Skitty's rules, right? Basic stuff. Something kind of stuck out to me. Not everyone here is 18. If you are a minor and someone's being weird to you, please message me ASAP so I could feed them to a wood chipper where they belong. See, I don't understand this need to, be the shield for the children. Yeah, if an adult's being creeped to you, come to me. Okay, I will be your safe haven. I will be your savior. Alright, I'll handle them. It's kind of weird, but sure.
Having an emotional support venting.
Please keep venting confined to a hashtag emotional support to whatever extent possible. Yeah, don't really like that. Don't really like that there's kids in here and they have a venting channel. Not a huge fan of that.
Channel seems like a good way to get people who don't know better to share too much about themselves. But even then, this doesn't...
It would, yeah, if a minor was to vent in the emotional support channel, it would show how vulnerable they are. And if there was an opportunistic predator, yeah, they would know exactly who and how to take advantage of them. So it's fucked.
modify the problem with what occurs on YouTube.
Then, 2 videos later, he's implying that allowing a kid into this server is
a little pedo-y. Incorrect. That's not what I'm implying as pedo-y. I'm suggesting that a YouTuber singling out a 13-year-old viewer for special attention and instructing them on how to enter a more private space with you against the assumed parent's wishes looks pedo-y as fuck. Because it does.
I'm gonna be mean for a second here. This guy does not give a flying fuck about child safety.
And yet my methods bear fruit. Do they not? Multiple Discords changed, including Skitties.
Nor does he care about finding and exposing dangerous behavior.
Tolerating this behavior from YouTubers is dangerous as fuck, actually. Or is this one of those retarded, well, I don't think his soul and his heart is really in it, so actually, we can do whatever we want at all times things.
He's either a knowing liar or a complete lunatic.
To be fair, many people have claimed the latter.
To be unambiguously clear, because apparently this is difficult online, I'm not accusing him
ASMR Ace? Sorry, I just really wanted that, soda. Whoops.
Of predatory behavior himself, and I think anyone who tried to do that would be grasping at straws as far as I can tell.
Yeah, you haven't done that at all. You haven't given that impression whatsoever. If you're worried about it, you can pull this clip. He has not done this.
Yeah, I don't know why. It felt like a really random complaint and thing to be weird about. Oh, dude, almost 80 of you here, dude. Let's like up. Let's get to 50 likes, okay? I believe in you. But yeah, no. Og event channel is always a bad idea. I agree. Nuxtaku type situation again, but this time coming from opposite side. Yeah. Yeah. Being a lunatic doesn't make you wrong. True. Yeah, insane people could even be right. They're just more dedicated.
What I am accusing him of is willingly exploiting the subject for attention and money, drip-feeding information and manipulating his viewers to allow him to keep reheating the same nachos over and over again.
I'm not nearly as strategic as you think I am. If I felt like talking about exactly the same thing 10 times in a row, I would.
Now, in saying that, I said he's reheating nachos. That implies that there existed nachos to reheat. So let's play one more clip to make sure that we're on the same page.
He just plays the clip of me explaining why I think minor tags are not a good idea on Discord.
Getting over the sensationalist fish in a barrel language that any sane person understands to be over-dramatized to get viewers riled up.
Is how I fucking talk, man. Maybe you just haven't seen what I've seen, because I reckon you'd be less respectful of such choices.
This Discord structure was irresponsible.
Hell yeah. Common sense. But I'm going to ask you to go one step further. Walk with me. Why is that a bad idea? And how do you think that relates to over and over and over again drawing attention to a child in your live stream that other people...
See, yeah, that's why it's weird to me. Skitty and Edgier Than Thou came to the same conclusion, called it pearl clutchy, called it disingenuous, and yet they still came to the same conclusion. They refuse or refrain to explain why. It's like they're kind of like, dragging their feet and not wanting to admit that he's right. So they're dragging their feet and still trying to take jabs at the guy while they're dragging their feet to go to the destination. Well, thanks for the power potion. Cat, don't meow at the mic, bro. Relax. My audience don't want to hear you, gang.
They're chatting with a child that is massively oversharing, and whose overshares you are then amplifying.
A-Space, catch me up. Dude. Because I already did a Skittybitty stream the other day. Okay. So, we're on a point right now where we're talking about the harm of having a server with minors in it, and also going as far as giving them minor tags. Argument that I would give, why it's harmful, is because it puts a target on those minors, whether intentional or not. It tells the opportunistic predators that could want to join the server or be in there that, hey, this person's a kid, then there's a venting room, showing that they could be a vulnerable kid. In fact, one of them went as far, to have it be known, like Skitty made it known to the audience that this person has abusive parents, and talked about how vulnerable they were to thousands of people. Insane work. And that doesn't even include the whole fact that Skitty encouraged a minor that was 13 to buy a Visa card to bypass their parents' supervision to try to get into their server that their parents clearly did not want them in. They wanted them to lie to their abusive parents to get in. Extremely insane. Extremely insane. Edgier Than Thou is a person that Harmful Opinions is covering. Harmful Opinions is the one on screen. Edgier Than Thou is a guy using Facecam. And that guy just kind of came out to essentially just be a mark, just sweeping for Skittybitty. It's ridiculous. The guy barely engages in the actual conversation, if at all, and just comes in sweep. He doesn't want you or need you to know the context of the situation. Just wants you to take his word for it. But yeah. Yeah. Hope that catches people up a little bit.
Yourself. One of the streams where he shouted out has over 100,000 views. Come on, man. Is this not nuts? You don't seem to live stream much, but would you behave like you've seen? Purely based on vibe, I don't think you would.
Having a minor tag is not a good idea, and whilst I believe SB removed that tag before I was even fully aware of this drama, I said as much privately.
Sorry, to be clear, you've been in discussion with Skittybitty about this. For all your bitching about changing tone by leaving information out, that sure changes the tone a whole fucking lot for me.
Yeah, because that would mean that you're in direct contact with the person that you're defending, which just makes this look like white knighting.
Clarify in case my wording is a little bit ambiguous here. The minor tag was removed, and to the best of my knowledge, that happened before I was, like, aware of it. That's all that I meant there.
Oh, sounding like you mean you just sent a DM to a YouTuber. What's the extent of your relationship? I'd love to know. This is the kind of stuff I love looking at. Are you trying to make yourself sound close by saying, I told them as much privately? Or are you actually networked? Like, imagine an anthropologist who focuses on YouTubers and hates them.
This would be...
That's insane. Necrusco. Edgier looks like a serial killer Charlie Kirk. A lot of people in my chat's just been calling them Young Sheldon. But fair enough, lol.
Were an honest person making it, a valid critique.
It is, even if I'm the devil.
Or rather, it is a valid critique.
Thank you.
Made in an extremely dishonest way.
Hey, we're back to fuck you again.
Further, child safety online is a difficult thing to get perfectly right.
True. Part of why I operate a kill-on-sight policy. I also just don't want them around me, as much as is possible. Like, the worst thing, actually, the real victim in all this Skittybitty stuff is me. Since talking about it, I've got these fucking shitter babies coming into my messages going, well, fuck you, I'm 14, I know what I'm doing. Actually, no, they don't if they're doing that. Jesus.
Yeah, no. The fact that the kids feel an impulsive need to defend their favorite content creator just kind of like adds to the whole child soldier army allegations. But realistically, what goes on there is kids are going to sweep and defend for their favorite creators because they don't know any better. Because they're just dumb kids. Right, that's just how it works.
Jesus Christ. I responded to a Skittybitty community post, laying out my issue more plainly and not in the stylized way I talk on this channel, saying they're almost 18, and anyway, kids younger than that already know all about pedophilia, so it's fine to send them to go and look at whatever. Total fucking nightmare. Insano world. I just wanted to make fun of someone for being a pussy when they present themselves as being tough, man. Why do I gotta know about all this?
That's not an excuse to get it wrong, but it does mean that we need to be a little bit introspective here. We should all know by now that the majority of victims of child sexual abuse were abused by someone they knew and trusted.
Oh my god, bro, what are you doing?
This is not to discount the importance of online safety, not by a long shot. But it is, I don't know, a tad relevant when you're advocating for authoritarian parenting and mocking the concept of kids having autonomy.
I don't believe I said anything about what parents should do or how they should parent. I'm criticizing the practices of YouTubers. I was mocking exactly what you are doing here. A ridiculous justification of fucking effective anons on the internet teaching kids how they can secretly do things with them. I don't care what they end up doing, and there's no way to really know for sure, which is actually why this behavior shouldn't be tolerated. YouTubers should not have this kind of relationship with their audience.
Exactly.
I will emphasize yet again, we're not talking about someone discussing a hypothetical or general advice. This was directed to an individual regarding a specific desire of theirs. Even merely tolerating this kind of behavior creates risk. Promoting it and defending it and encouraging it ostensibly is insane.
I'll admit that I find this topic fucking infuriating, having seen example after example in my life of families protecting and covering up predators simply because they're related to them. But the ultimate point is, you may disagree where the line is placed when it comes to red flags from people's families. And
cool, now do red flags from random anonymous strangers online.
Many of these red flags point to different kinds of abuse, emotional, physical violence, what have you. But if you cannot understand why a person who can't materially change the situation might see some of the red flags of emotional abuse and point a kid towards...
Yeah, I said nothing about defending authoritarian parenting. Yeah, no, Edgier then now kind of just seems to randomly just like punch ghosts and just starts making statements like he's fighting Harmful Opinions, but really not. So, perfect straw manning, awesome stuff.
Autonomy, then I do not believe you are thinking straight.
My brother, we're talking about a YouTuber convincing a kid it's okay to watch them, support them, and generally be parasocial as fuck from what I've been looking at. Oh, but the broader message is that is ass covering.
Also, just so that we're entirely clear on this, none of the situations I'm referring to involved me directly in any way. I was not a victim in this circumstance. Mr. Opinions has made 4 videos now on this drama that he's manufactured, and with the release of this, he's bound to make more.
Hell yeah, brother.
But I hope you at least gain something from seeing the ways that statements can be manipulated or reframed to imply things that the creator is too cowardly to just state.
What exactly does he think I didn't say that I wanted to but merely wanted to imply? You're analyzing me while clearly knowing fucking nothing about me. It's just a canned idea. You haven't actually engaged with the media I've put out. Like, go back to the start of this. Look at how he characterized my channel versus what was on screen as he said it. Simply not attached to reality, I fear.
Moving forward, if you end up getting sucked into internet drama, first of all, my sympathies. And second, I hope you remember that the people making drama content want your attention and your interest.
Giga Galaxy brain level commentary, people who upload media to YouTube want it to be seen.
And whilst it doesn't inherently mean that everything they say is a lie, it does mean you should take a look at it with an extreme degree of certainty.
Did you mean scrutiny? Scripted video, by the way. But yeah, you should do that regardless, actually.
And for the record, well, I don't think I'm much of a drama person. That goes for me too.
Sorry, I pause-anded you. Fair enough. I'd like to say thank you to this individual for not critiquing my sketchy color grades. He appears to be a photographer, so he easily could have. And if you're watching, I'm going to say something man to man. You obviously disagree with me regardless, but I am not lying about what I think and feel. You obviously clearly don't like my style. I have a bit of mischief in me, and my chosen approach is almost always going to be polemical. You may not have guessed, but like you, I'm an American, and our nation was born out of a polemic. Yeah, it's fun, but also, it gets things done. Demonstrably. Already has in this case, hasn't it? Do you think Skittybitty is now more or less likely to directly talk to a kid like that again? When you're defending it, you're saying it's fine, totally normal, whatever, good even. But do you think, and I'm not talking about general discussion or a hypothetical or whatever relating to the general idea of getting out from under bad parents, do you think exactly like that it's likely to ever happen again? Is it possible it might dissuade other people, maybe even people whose values you don't like, from doing a similar thing? Possibly, even just a little bit. Maybe your answer is no, it will have no effect. But I gotta try, right? Weird, anon strangers on the internet teaching kids how to bypass their parents in relation to their own online presence is suspect as hell. You're clearly familiar with this person, you maybe have some sort of connection. I don't. To me, they're just some freak online. I even sought advice about this, and I was told, report that shit. And what I was told was way more extreme than anything I've said.
I'm not watching that. But yeah, we got one more in the tank. All right, one more in the tank. Before I do, yeah, no, I think I've said this already. Edgier than now seems very disingenuous. Mischaracterized points seemingly intentionally, and just did not want you to know the context. Didn't want you to know the situation. Clearly just was trying to find any reason to dislike him, maliciously left out a clip, made a lot of stupid points that had nothing to do with the video, and was telling life stories that also have nothing to do with the video. It's kind of mind-blowing, actually. I know what you are, Ace. No? H.O. isn't British. I believe that he was in, British land when he was like a young blood and then went to America. So he's like technically American or whatever. I think he snuck in, from what I hear. But yeah. Anyways, no more Skittybitty videos. Let's take a peek-sees.
This morning it was brought to my attention that my favorite media critic and most media literate man in the world has once again stepped in to bat for and sweep things up for their friend Skittybitty. I'm pretty sick of this stuff, but I feel, sorry, in my heart, that it would be a good idea to go one last time. Try and hammer this into some heads. Because the cleanup campaign is so outrageous. In a publicly published post on Blue Sky, Anthony Gramuglia has told the world, so Skitty said on a livestream once that someone in chat who said they didn't have a credit card, that they could buy a Visa credit card to get into their Discord as a joke, but then pivoted to discussing how buying a Visa card can help someone out if their parents were homophobic and
ETT is projection? True!
Trolling. And that's literally everything. A joke turned into practical advice for living with an abusive parent. textbook pedojacketing. Almost everything in this statement is so beautifully, perfectly, carefully wrong. The very first thing said that it happened once. No, I spelled this out myself already, but let's go through it again. Very, very, very slowly, and with a bit more detail because these people thrive on wiggle room. I'll censor the kids' names this time as a courtesy when previously I was just censoring the usernames. This is pretend OPSEC, because if I even quote Skittybitty, you are equally far away from having all the information as you are if I have their name on my video, from an OSINT perspective. The place you have to go to identify them and their accounts is controlled by Skittybitty. I can't do anything about that. So let's look at the two examples I already mentioned, and I'm going to dumb it down as far as I can. Really spell things out. These people seem to have an issue where they can't hold a lot of information in their head at the same time. So instead of just talking about it generally, I'll present it as a story. A little bit more of a chronological approach to why it looks so weird to me. Here's the tale of Kid 1. This kid was a regular chatter, and Skitty took a little bit of personal interest in them, would engage and ask a little bit about their life.
Oh, he's got siblings. Are you the youngest? Or you have a little bit of youngest sibling energy, I'm not gonna lie.
Nothing horrible. If I'm going to be a total tight ass, I think information extraction should be at an absolute minimum. I'm just showing there's a growing familiarity and a really strong awareness that this person is quite young.
My childhood, and you are a child.
Over the months, this kid's age would come up many times in the stream, and the way they're referred to would shift from being a child to being Skitty's child.
Is up there. It is my child.
No, yeah, Skitty kind of has like a weird pattern of just like, I guess like maybe there's nothing malicious with it, but like if they have children in their community, it's like, it's my child. It's my child. It kind of just it feels very ponder coded to me. I'm not even gonna lie.
Be nice to that's my son.
Maybe to you that's just a cute thing to do on stream, an adult streamer referring to a specific kid viewer as their child. For my taste, that's a bit iffy in terms of encouraging parasocial feelings and whatnot. Sure. I start to get a little bit further put off when I hear slips like this. Talking to someone else, they reference Kid 1.
You played a lot of the Nintendo Land Pikmin attraction as a kid and teen. Are you telling me you're not a teenager? I was sure you were one of my friends about age. I say friend, one of my fans about age.
Just a slip of the tongue, friend, fan, both start with F. How about when Skitty told the stream that they see this kid in their dreams?
Dream Bonanza was already out.
What?
Famous chatter was there. I don't remember why. Have I reached peak YouTuber status when my chatters begin to appear in my dreams?
I think.
What? I thought that was just clickbait. What do you mean you're seeing this 13-year-old in your dreams? I'm trying to be good faith here, I really am, but that's such a weird fucking thing to say. Are you like... Dude, how much are you interacting with this child that they just become like a side character in your dreams? That's so fucking weird, man. It's so... I don't even see my own chatters in my dreams. And I engage with my chatters a lot. They're all adults, by the way. That's the difference between me and Skitty. But it's like, I have a lot of chatters I engage with a lot in my server. Not a single one of them appear in my dreams. What the fuck? That's so weird. Holy shit.
This is pretty much the final boss of encouraging parasocial feelings in kid viewers. I would ask you to imagine me identifying repeatedly in my streams a young teen viewer, starting to call them my child, and then talking about how I see them in my dreams. From my perspective, that's pretty nuts. And this kid was one of the individuals advised on the Visa gift card strategy. After Skitty...
Do you see me in your dreams, Remnant? No, we don't do that. Okay, that's weird. Yo, I ever start saying I see chatters on my streams and chat, take me out back and shoot me. True!
promos their Patreon and private...
Lies, Fishy appears in your nightmares, Ace? No. Just no.
With Discord. This kid asks, what if I only have physical money?
What if you only have physical money? Buy a Visa gift card and then use that money to get a Patreon.
Unlike the other example we'll look at, this one is not specifically about bypassing parents, and it's actually the other elements before that that I think get really weird. However, I should mention that while the other example we're going to look at today was directed at another kid in the chat, Kid 1 was present while that advice was given. What I've just shown you is the second time they've heard that advice from Skittybitty. And the first time they heard it was in the context of making sure your parents don't know. The second time you can try and play off as, oh, it was just an off-the-cuff hee-hee-ha-ha joke with nothing further around it. The first time that kid that Skitty is very, very weirdly parasocial with in their streams, I don't think you can do that with. So here's our second story. Kid 2. As I've pointed out before, Kid 2 is even younger than Kid 1. Skitty is well aware of this and inquired about it 4 days prior to the incident we're going to talk about next.
I mean, if he says he's not 11, he must not be.
Listen,
11.
he said he's younger than is 14.
In March last year, this kid tells Skittybitty that their parents would kill them if they knew who they were watching. Personally, my reaction would be, good to know. Banned. Skitty, however, decides to challenge this.
Your parents would kill you if they knew who you were watching. Why would they do that?
The kid responds by saying, my parents are homophobic extremists, mostly my mom. Off the back of that, Skitty says, I'm sorry about your parents. Hope you can hold in there until you get out of there or they improve. It's good you're being exposed to people your parents tell you to hate, especially me, because I'm cool.
I'm glad to hear that you are immersing yourself in a media environment where you can be exposed to the kinds of people that you're told that you need to hate, because I would say that gay and trans people are actually pretty cool. At least in my experience. At least when it comes to me, I'd say I'm pretty cool. I'm sorry. But I hope that you can hang in there until you are able to get out of there. And or I hope that they get their skit together.
You need to not forget that the dynamic here is an online entertainer talking to a child in their audience directly.
That's just
giving a vulnerable
fucking
person
insane,
validation
dude.
in front of an audience. Perhaps now feeling encouraged, the kid overshares wildly in the public chat.
They love me, but don't feel loved, which is sad. It's complicated. Maybe I'm just, dude. True, those Malice Guardians are pretty wizard. Maybe I'm just spoiled. Dude, I just would feel gross, like, letting a kid say this much about their life. I don't get it. I don't get how Skitty could sit there and be like, yes, tell the whole world about your abusive family and how you're just so vulnerable. Yes, I will engage with it fully. What the fuck?
Saying, they love me but I don't feel loved, which is sad. It's complicated. Maybe I'm just spoiled. I don't know. Very sad if true. Maybe a moment to say like, hey, you're not in trouble, but you need to cool it in this public chat. Here's some stuff that might help you if you're having real trouble. Instead, we do get some intervention, but not that. 10 minutes later, after a plug of the Patreon and private Discord, Kid 2 says, I would join the Patreon, but I don't have a credit card, so... And Skitty, having just 10 minutes earlier expressed their happiness that Kid 2 has found them as an influence away from their parents, specifically them, says this.
Anyway, I mean, if you want to join the Patreon, but you don't have a credit card, what you should do is you should buy yourself a Visa gift card at a store. I'm joking mostly.
Hesitation.
But, I'm actually not really joking.
And then the full send, the full commit. It is broadened and then explained it can be used for other things, but it is still talking about that.
If you are a child and you have crazy homophobic parents and you need to buy anything really, you should buy a Visa gift card, because you could just spend that on anything. You can do that.
Skittybitty moves on to talk about their use of weed. Kid 2 is still talking about the payment thing though, and it's made crystal clear, contrary to some claims, that this was not merely a...
The thing is, my parents got me a debit card, but they can see everything I spend on it, so I can never use it. I just have like $150 in cash instead. Okay. The Skitty is so bitty, prefer going on the lash, to be honest. Okay.
About how to pay if you don't have a card. It is specifically about dodging parents' awareness. Kid 1 is the person in red here, by the way. The one Skitty claims to have dreamt about, and who they would also advise on the same method of joining their Patreon and entering the private Discord 3 months after this. I think there's a little bit more to this than a joke turned into practical advice for living with an abusive parent. No, Anthony, they were talking directly to a child who had just told them minutes earlier that their parents didn't even want them watching. Because they are that supposedly hypothetical person. No matter how much anyone wants to try to spin it, a streamer becomes aware of someone in their chat saying their parents don't want them to watch, that is pounced on, and within minutes they're giving advice on how to get into a private space they control. I'm sorry, that is reality. A streamer immediately shit-talking a young viewer's parents, reinforcing this idea. suggesting it's going to be good when they can get away from them, or when they change, to be fair, on the back of 2 messages, specifying it's not even necessarily both of their parents. Then, not providing resources, not even just providing access to that private Discord for free, for instance, which would still be weird, but giving advice on how to do an act that their parents wouldn't like, that the streamer would then know about. A shared secret creating a special kind of connection. We are in beyond red flag territory. The edgier than thou fella accused me of fear-mongering about private spaces, suggesting the implication was, ooh, what could be going on in there? And I don't think I made it clear enough. Yes, something bad can happen anywhere. The question is, if a kid has a YouTuber enticing them to further and further rebel against their parents directly, if something bad does happen, who can they tell? The strategy of creating a wedge, creating a barrier like this, or attempting to, that would mean they'd hesitate to tell their parents about what they've been doing, is classic predatory behavior. I'm sorry if you don't like to hear that. Oh, and there's a particular term I think I should share that stuck in my mind from when I talked to a person I used to know from my caring days. I wasn't a carer for kids. My clients were people with spinal injuries. But I knew she was all on this stuff, you know, not on the web. But the term she used was boundary testing. And apparently that, combined with any sort of push to get that person into a more private venue, is like, fuck no, red alert. I got radicalized. Anyway, that's probably going to be all. Nothing else to say, but I see such fucking crazy sweeping. Gotta say something at least one more time.
Yeah, dude. Fucking hell, man. Absolutely ridiculous. See, dude. I'm just kind of like mind blown by this. Like, I don't know how there's so much sweeping on this. Genuinely. Fuck me. Fuck me. So, yeah. No, this is ridiculous. This is fucked up. I don't know how we really even got here, man. Dude. But yeah, no. Yeah, I'm a little blown away here. A little blown away. Yeah, it's so blatantly obvious. Yeah, I'm just wondering how there's even a debate here. Skitty should just take the L, stop lying, and Anthony should stop sweeping. I feel like it's that obvious, and I've made it pretty known for you guys. I am making a video. I wanted to catch up with this stuff just in case there was anything else. But yeah, I'm 100% making a video on this. Like I said, the last Skittybitty one, I've been working on it. I've been, doing research as well as into other leads I've been given. But yeah, no, this is fucking ridiculous. 100%. But I think I'm going to give you guys to Himpleton. He's a good man. All right, I think it should be actually in customization. Yeah. Okay. You guys have fun with Himpleton. Everyone should say poor ace. But yeah, I'm actually going to go work on the video after this stream now. So you guys take care. Have a lovely day. And I'll catch you guys in the flip side. Bye.